All right. Hey, everybody. I am Eugenio, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands. Welcome back to Crituitous RP, the half-rate heroes. Sorry, we had to take a week off last week. That was entirely my fault. I was in LA doing this cool thing at the Descent. It was super fun. I'm very excited about the next Dungeons & Dragons adventure, Baldur's Gate Descent to Avernus, blah, blah, blah. This is neither the time nor the place to talk about that. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go around the circle quickly and introduce who we are and who we are playing before we get started. Let's start with Carl.
Alright, I'm Carl. I'm playing Lafcadio Whitehorn, the Tabaxi Warlock of the Lion King Banyan, Lord Firemane.
All right, and Vinny.
I'm Vinny. I will be playing Kale Irvine, a half-elven gentleman from Eltergard who is a servant of the god of knowledge, Dinir.
I am from the future to tell Kale that he should probably go home to Eltergard before too long because it's in some big trouble.
I'm sure they'll be fine. Best nights anywhere, believe me.
Super. Yeah, well, they will be put to the test in Avernus in just a few short months. Let's hop down to Casey.
I'm Casey. I'm playing Nos, the Hobgoblin Azamar, who is also the champion of Timor, Impaler of the Plains, Heckler of Big Fire Chickens, and she who would fight the storm.
I love all of those titles. John.
Hey, I'm John. I am playing Wampum Thunderbelly, your dwarven battlemaster.
That's the one. And last but not least, Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham, and I am playing Tazlin Evrio, the resident wizard and necromancer of the party, who's a Shadow Archive from the Shadowfell.
Fantastic. And once again, I'm Eugenio, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands. Super excited to be back with us today. So before we get started playing, two really quick things. One of them is that for those of you who don't know, in my other life and career, I'm a musical theater actor and musician. And my parents are visiting me here in New York this weekend, and I've had the great fortune of going to see a couple of shows on Broadway with them this weekend. And, I do it for a living, so I know how important theater and the arts are, but seeing these two really remarkable shows this weekend just reminded me, the arts are super important, y'all. And I talk a lot on Twitter and on streams about how important gaming and supporting game content creators and creators like us is. I don't talk about the arts on Twitter and Twitch because that's not what I do here, but support the arts, y'all. They're super important and vital, and they give us hope in tough times. Really quickly, I don't want to talk about this too long, though I would love to talk about it forever, but I saw a really beautiful musical version of Orpheus and Eurydice, and for those of you who don't know that story, it does not end happily. And so I sort of spent a lot of the second act of that show wondering, this is so great. Am I just going to leave really depressed and, totally out of hope? And at the very end of the show, after Orpheus turns around, the narrator, who is this legend of the Broadway stage, came forward and said to the audience, I don't remember the exact lines, but basically he said, I've been telling y'all all night that this was a sad song, and he had. And he said, but we sing it anyway. We sing it every night because what else can we do but sing it over and over and over? And even though we know how it ends, we have to sing it and hope that maybe this time it will end differently. And that spoke to me a lot. I love what I do in gaming, and I love what I do in theater, and it's so important. So support the arts, y'all. Cool, that's enough of that. The other thing that I want to talk about is what the hell happened 2 weeks ago, because it's been 2 weeks, and I think I remember, but let's find out. So I joined our adventurers, the Half-Rate Heroes, as they were making their way out of the Feywild. They did all kinds of cool stuff that I was not a party to, so I bear no responsibility for any of it, for better and worse. So we got them out of the Feywild, popped them back onto the Prime Material Plane on the Sword Coast of Faerun, somewhere around the Mere of Dead Men, as I recall. They wandered north, heading towards Waterdeep, since several of them have some contacts there. In particular, Lefcadio has a contact there that he hopes to meet with to discuss the future of a rather powerful artifact book that he has in his possession. On the way, though, it wouldn't be D&D if there weren't troubles on the road. And so on their way up north to Waterdeep, they stumbled across a small town that seemed to be having a rather odd problem. They noticed that the people were walking around the streets wearing heavy metal collars, and found out that there had been some trouble with a headless horseman beheading particularly town leaders, although it wasn't just town leaders necessarily. But they'd had this problem for a while. They began to investigate, spoke with the new mayor, a halfling named Brix, and found out that the trouble had started not long after she was elected mayor. She and her human wife had some various ideas about who the culprit, who the one summoning this headless horsewoman might be. I'm not supposed to say horsewoman. What am I supposed to say? What are we calling
Dark
them?
Rider.
Dark Rider, that's right. Because horsewoman sounds like a weird centaur. So they began their investigation, spoke with the mayor, spoke with her wife, and ended up finding themselves, some of them found themselves at a small cottage in the woods on the edge of town, belonging to one of the longtime council people, a woman named Enelen. And while they were there, it seemed as if someone had left the place in a hurry, left chairs overturned, papers scattered about. And as we ended 2 weeks ago, there was a scream coming from deeper in the woods from the cavern. So let's super quickly just go around and let everybody know, because not the entire. Let's split the party first time with the new DM. Cool. Not all of you were at the cabin, so let's just go around quickly. We'll go in reverse order from our introductions. So we'll start with Tazlin, and just let us know where your character is and what they're doing right now.
Kale was casting a spell, and I was sitting by a really comfy tree. That is all I was doing.
Keep it simple. Wampum, where were you? You were at the cabin, right?
Yes, Wampum was with Lefcardio in the cabin, and we were. I was relying on Lefcardio's keen sense of investigation to find out what is in the cabin. When we heard the scream, and we turned to each other and said, "What now?"
Excellent. Nas or Kale or Lefcadio, anything to add?
Nos is with Kale and the other guy, the elf guy.
Tazlin.
Good. I kind of like at the bottom of the driveway, I guess, with the walkway going up, and Kale was looking through an arcane eye spell and watching the other two dudes.
That's right. You had your own little investigation that may have gone a little better. Nos and Lefcadio, anything to add?
Well, if I think I had the idea of what Kale was doing. So at the moment I heard the scream, I would be waving frantically in the air, maybe like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Kale will tell the other two, all right, something's happening. We gotta go up there. Watch out for the traps.
We're getting the signal, which is apparently just Kermit flailing.
We'll have to talk about that later, but now's not the time.
So how many feet are we away from the house? I know that they had to go through some traps, so...
Yeah, you're a good ways. I mean, they walked, if I'm not mistaken, they walked at least 15 minutes through the woods and through those traps, so you're a good ways away.
So like 500 feet or a little bit more?
I think probably a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. Why, are you going to do something when you're 500 feet away?
I mean, if I really wanted to burn spell slots, if I was that kind of guy, I would just Dimension Door then Dimension Door to go 1,000 feet. But seeing as how I've already wasted a bunch of spells today, I'm probably not going to do that.
Wasted is a harsh term for what's happened.
I'm pretty sure I conjured a familiar and then gave it to one of the guards.
Well, you did do that.
So, yeah, I'm just going to start running straight that way.
Great. So all it takes is the Kermit signal, and Tazlin's off. How about the other two of you that are out there?
Yeah, I'm going, and I'll call out the traps and where to avoid them.
Oh, right. That's right.
I
You saw that all go down. That's
Yes.
right.
What?
Oh, boy. Do we... Okay. Well, it's fine. I mean, the pit... Did we fall in the pit? No, one of them you set off. Which one was it? Now I'm trying to remember.
It was one of the pits that
it was one of the pits?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you I mean, you're not I have enough faith in Taslan that he won't just run into a big, obvious open pit. Am I being generous? Is that reasonable?
No.
Okay.
I think Taslan has a little bit of self-preservation.
Okay, great.
Might not lemming right off the cliff.
Great. All right. So you all can make your way to the cabin now. Lefkadio and Wampum, you all are there, and Lefkadio, you hope that Kale received the message and maybe they're on their way. But in the meantime, it's going to take, even if they're running flat out, it'll take a little while for them to get there. So what are you all doing in the meantime?
We should go check that out, shouldn't we?
I'd be thinking that we should.
All right. Let's not waste any time.
I hope Kale's got that eye still floating around.
Well, you saw me do the signal, so hopefully he saw it too.
I didn't know if that was a signal or a spasm. I'm sorry.
Maybe you want to go first in case there are traps out back, like they were out front.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start heading off towards the screen.
Okay, so if you recall, the scream came from behind the house, and there was in fact a back door in this small cabin that was slightly ajar. And if I'm not mistaken, I think one of you managed to be observant enough to see that there were some tracks sort of leading out the back door and out deeper into the woods. So Wampum and Lefkadio, you all head that way. Why don't I have you both make me wisdom survival checks out there, just to see how that goes. All right.
18.
So this is a much better start than last week, as I recall. It's a 19 and an 18 for the two of you. So yeah, without too much trouble, you can see a set of humanoid tracks running into the woods from the back door. What you didn't notice from inside, and what you see as soon as you step outside, though, is that it looks like there is a second set of humanoid tracks that follows behind the first, and also leads deeper into the woods. And so do you follow these trails of tracks?
It'd be looking like somebody chasing somebody.
Well, they might need a help.
Let's get there a little quick if we can.
All right. So the two of you take off. All of you are running. Two of you ahead of the other three. And at about the same time as the three of you who were behind, so what is that, Nos and Taslan and Kale. This is a really good exercise, and do I remember your character names? The three of you end up at the cabin. You see everything that Kale already knew you all were going to see, disarray, some papers and books and things sort of strewn all over the place, furniture overturned, back door ajar. At about the time that the three of them arrive there, Wampum and Lefkadio, you two arrive at the mouth of a stereotypically ominously dark cave.
Should we be waiting for backup, or do we feel secure enough to go in?
I will say that about halfway to the cave, the screams continued, but about halfway to the cave, they abruptly cut off.
Were the screams echoey? As if they were coming from inside a cave?
Ah, got it. Good question. Make a wisdom perception check.
25.
Oh, yes. Yes, in fact, they were. Wow, that is a nice, beautiful bit there. Yes. Yes, in fact, you can tell that they cut off when the screams were exactly 8.5 feet into the cave. No. Yes, they did sort of sound towards the end like they were coming from a cave. They were a bit, extra resonant.
And these screams, were they of pain or fright?
Fright, really, more than anything, yeah.
Well, obviously, the smart thing to do would be to wait.
But we ain't smart.
I couldn't have scripted that better myself.
There might be someone in trouble, and if we wait, we might lose our chance to help him out. So, I guess.
You know what? My common sense tells me to wait, but my dwarven sense tells me to get in the cave.
Let's go, Mike.
I think we should follow my dwarven sense.
Couldn't agree more. Let's see here. Give me. Okay, so you two going in the cave?
Yep.
All right. So the two of you enter into this cave, and if you are not in Roll20, we are moving to a little map that I've got set up in the Roll20, which of course can't portend anything good for you all, but so it goes. So you find yourselves in a, dark cave. Now, the dwarf has dark vision. The tabaxi does as well, I believe. Am I correct there?
That's right.
Okay. So without any trouble, you can see into this this dark cave. It smells of decay and rot. You hear dripping water coming from somewhere deeper into the cave, deeper than you can see at the moment. And you hear soft sort of moaning and groaning coming from deeper within.
Well, all this metal that I'd be wearing, I'm not of the stealthy type, you see. So,
Well, I'm quite stealthy.
you wanna go ahead and up front here a little bit, and
Yeah.
if you be in trouble, you be coming running back.
Yeah, I can't see anything going wrong with that plan. So let's definitely do that.
Really good. All right, so in you head, and let me, what are your passive perceptions, you two?
Wampum is a 23.
15.
Okay. 15 was Lefkadia?
Yep.
All right, let's see. Okay, so you walk in, and 23 you said, Wampum?
Yep.
All right, so none of them are hidden from you in the least. So you all step in, and immediately it is clear that behind some of the mounds of rock and shale and broken gravel and stalagmites that are situated around the room, you absolutely hear the shuffling of feet and the sort of, not breath, you don't hear breathing, but you hear sort of slavering, wet sounds coming from behind these various outcroppings of rock and mounds of shale and gravel.
Left cardio to your left and right. We got visitors. They be behind that shale croppings. Be careful.
Are you making any attempt to be at all quiet during this?
No.
Okay, great. Great, and as if a prophecy were told, as Wampum begins to tell you that you've got visitors, out from around the two southernmost piles of gravel and shale come a couple of horrible-looking undead creatures shuffling around, pinpointing in on your voices, and they move in towards you. So I would like to have everybody roll initiative, or the two of you for right now roll initiative. Meanwhile, while we're doing that, let's hop over to the other three that are at the cabin. What are you all doing?
You said there were papers on the table?
Yeah, papers on the table and floor, and like open books and manuscripts, things
I'm gonna
like
give
that.
them a quick skim, like a good 30-second skim as I'm like trying to move towards the door, maybe pick up a book, be like, ah!
Since he's moving so slow, I'm actually going to pick him up, toss him over my shoulder so he can read as I run.
Hilarious. I love it. Okay, so you just grab a bunch of them and you're sort of leafing through them. Go ahead and make me an intelligence investigation check, Tasla.
All right, I am pretty good at those, I think.
I imagine so.
I forgot to highlight my character. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. We can get you in manually. Let's see. How did that go? Where is Graham? 16. Okay, so as you're looking through it, it's a little tough to really get too terribly deep into the lore of whatever it is that you're reading. But it immediately becomes obvious to you, because it is rather surprising, I suppose, that most of the stuff that was lying out are various tracts about the Shadowfell and the creatures that come from there, particularly powerful creatures that come from the Shadowfell, which of course you have some passing familiarity with, I'm told.
I'm one. I'm pretty powerful. I'm from the Shadowfell. Checks out.
Totally.
Yeah, so like as I'm being jostled and carried, I'm gonna be like, Well, that's clearly interesting, and I'm gonna like shove it in my robes and not say anything about it.
Amazing.
And he's just gonna go, Nos, stop. I think
What?
there's going to be some. Take a little sick. There's going to be some undead, most likely.
Horrible.
He'll be like, call it intuition, but I think things are happening involving the Shadowfell.
All right. Well, we have experience with that, so hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really quick, 2 things.
Please.
First, I wanted to ask, Waffle and Lefkadi, what's y'all's move speed?
25.
40.
Okay.
We'll
But
average those.
I was
So-
behind Wapham because.
Oh,
he
right.
was-
So we'll go with 25. Okay.
25, got
We'll
it.
assume 25.
So my Arcane Eye can move 30 feet per round. I
Okay.
can't dash it, so they would have got there probably a little bit before it. But
Sure.
if it's been less than an hour since they started going up to the cabin, then
Yeah, I think so.
okay. So I would say I would have kept following them with my Arcane Eye.
Okay.
So it's hopefully catching up to them soon. But I
Great.
imagine they got a little bit ahead of it. And then 2, once Kale got into the house, he's not even going to look around or anything. He already knows where the map is with the X on it, and he's just going
Right.
to grab that and keep going.
Yep. I will say that since Lefkadio and Wampum sort of followed a set of footprints that were meandering and running and clearly trying to escape something, they went on a slightly less direct course than you'll be able to plot since you have the map with the very obvious X in the woods behind the house. So you all will get there a little faster than they did, so it won't be a full 15 minutes or however long it was. So you'll be able to catch up to them a little more quickly than that. All right.
While
Yeah.
I'm being carried, can I use the Ring of Invisibility and just turn invisible?
Sure. Absolutely, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Oh,
Right.
on the way to the house, I want to
Yeah.
cast Thaumaturgy real quick and shut the doors.
Okay.
Like,
I love that. Why not? All right. Let's head back to the cave. And it looks like we have Lefkadio up first. Oh, I didn't add. Let me add. Wampum got a. What was your
25.
initiative? 25. All right. 25. Add, please. 25. All right. All right, so Wampum is going to be up first in this initiative order. You can see the one ghast over to your right, coming out from around the that rock, and you can hear. I'm not sure if you can see him yet, but you can definitely hear one coming from your left as well.
20. 25. No, I'm going to. I can hear him from there, so I will move to there.
All right. Out front, Wampum goes.
Can't see him yet.
Can definitely see the one on the right, the one that's sort of right there. The one on the left, I'm not sure you could see from around that sort of corner.
Gotcha.
Although maybe you could a little bit, but you can definitely see the one on the right.
I will go ahead and throw the blast axe at him for 18 for 10 slashing.
That'll do. All right, so you throw the axe. It flies. Whoops, I'm on the wrong layer. Flies through the air over to the horrible undead creature with the big long tongue, and it beds in his shoulder.
And then when it comes back to me, I'm going to make a spin and throw it again.
That'll do for another 13. Very nice. These are magical, right? I don't remember exactly what this axe does, but I do remember that it's magical, so yeah. All
And
right. Oops.
Last time, I will throw it backhand for 22 for 13 slashing.
That will do. And so the axe throws out, embeds in his shoulder, reappears, gets thrown again, hits his other shoulder. Finally, the third hit just gets him right square in the forehead, and underneath the weight of this battle axe or hand axe or whatever it is, falls to the ground, and he ceases to move.
One down, left cardio, one down.
Great work, Mike.
All right, let's put a little X on this one. You'll have to forgive me. I'm reacclimating myself to roll 20. All right, Lefkadio, you are up.
Right. I'll move there to. Oh, that didn't move. That was a map. That was measurements.
That was great. We know that it's 30 feet away.
All right. So I move there.
Alrighty.
And
hello.
Right
Look, surprise! There's a thing that you.
There's that
was
fella there. I'm like, that's the one. All right. So I'll toss my net at him.
All right. Oh yes, that'll do.
It's 29 to hit.
That will do.
Because I have the mobile feature, I'm going to move back 10 feet.
Alrighty.
Without provoking any attacks of opportunity.
That's it.
And then with my crossbow expert feat, I'll use my bonus action to shoot this guy with my crossbow.
Fantastic.
My hand crossbow, rather. It's a 24 to hit.
That'll do.
It's 11 piercing. It is a magical crossbow.
Fantastic. All right, so we've got a netted, horrible undead thing with a crossbow now right in the center of its chest, and it just sort of looks down and it looks back up at you, and you can see this horrible sort of slaver coming from its massive tongue that hangs down about as far as the crossbow bolt is currently sticking out of its chest, and it is its turn. So it is that net does what to it? It thank you. It restrains it.
Yes.
Fantastic. La, la, la. All right. So it is going to use its action then to attempt to make a strength check and break out of your net. That is the wrong creature. Here we go. So let's see if it's able to do that. And it does. So it uses its action. It breaks out of the net and begins to move towards you and closes with you, Lefkadio. And the stench from this thing is just unbelievable. And as it gets to within 5 feet of you, it becomes almost overpowering how awful this abomination of nature smells. The two of you do hear now, coming from further north in the cavern, you hear more of these creatures. You can again hear the sort of awful slavering of their tongues coming towards you all. One of them is going to appear, that is the wrong button, is going to appear just off a little deeper into the cave from where you're standing, Lefkadio. And a couple of others are going to come a little bit nearer to where Wampum is. Let's see, we'll add him in there, and this one's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go there. All right. In fact, I think this one will go ahead and use the dash action. We'll move him a little bit further as they just surprisingly move rather quickly, considering their undead zombie-ish nature, though they are clearly not zombies. And we return to the top of round 2. Wampum, you see these things approaching you.
Why am I at 50 now? But that's okay.
Why are you what?
On the initiative shows I'm a 50.
Oh my goodness, you are at 50. That's interesting. Great, we're gonna... great, cool, we'll fix that in a moment. There we go.
25. And then I'm going to...
Oh, I see why.
Take care of the one in front of Lefkadio.
Alrighty.
For a 16, I'll go ahead and leave it at 16 for 15.
16 does hit this awful creature, doing 15 points of damage as you throw your axe once again.
And my second attack is a 19 for 11.
All right, and this one as well just embeds right in its forehead, dropping it to the ground as well.
With a spin on my heel, I throw it for 15 points of damage.
All
for
right.
24 to hit.
Nicely done. So that one sort of sticks right in this. I assume this is the creature all the way over here on the left.
No, it's right in front of Lefkadio. Yeah.
Oh, well, the second hit managed to drop that one that was right next to Lefkadio.
Sorry, then yes, the last hit would go.
All right. So just 2 quick throws and then sort of over the shoulder towards the other one, coming around the corner, right in the gut. And it sort of looks down and tries to grasp at the axe before it vanishes and returns to your hands.
And then I'm going to let Lefkadio know. 2 to the rear on me.
Alrighty. Lefkadio, you are up. The one in front of you has been dispatched. You've been warned about several others.
I do not feel terribly brave in venturing out on my own. I'm going to stick as close to Wampum as I can. These guys are going to be closing in. So I'm just going to take pot shots at this fella with my crossbow.
Alrighty.
So, actually, nope, because I would only get. I am gonna close in on him.
All right.
I will get. So move 15 feet.
Away. Alrighty.
And then use my cat of Nine Tails whip, and take 3 strikes at him.
Ooh, all right.
So the first one is 28 to hit for 9 slashing and 5 necrotic.
9. Oh, good question. I don't. Well, let's find out. All right, 9 slashing and 5 necrotic. I accidentally closed Roll20 and it just reopened, so here we go. Okay, 9 slashing and not quite as much necrotic as you would have expected.
Very good. Next hit is 17 for 11 slashing and 5 necrotic.
All right, and that one also drops this one to the ground, as you don't even need to take your 3rd attack on it. This one is just down.
All right. Well,
Back up, cat.
You don't want me? You want me to go further into the cave?
I would suggest that we kind of stick together.
Then I'll stick right next to you, Bite.
All right, and
That's
back
it.
you go. All right, you hear a strange, sort of awful wailing sound coming from deeper within. Excuse me, deeper within the cave, and from the back of the cave comes this strange sort of shadowy figure. It looks like it's just made of wisps of shadow, but as it gets a little bit closer to you, you can see that it seems to have faces pressing out of the shadows all over its body as it gets quite close to the two of you. And begins to wail loudly. So I need the two of you, please, to make wisdom saving throws, please.
Wampum has a 17.
11.
Wampum, you managed to save, but unfortunately, Lefkadio, you do not. And these wails, or the howls and babbles that it is letting loose, sort of begin to crawl into your mind. And so you take, let's start with 2d8 plus 3 psychic damage. So you take 11 psychic damage, and you are stunned until the end of your next turn. Wampum, you will take 5 psychic damage with your save, and you are not stunned, but you just, you hear it, what to Wampum is just sort of babbling and random nonsense words that sort of seep into his mind a little bit. Lefkadio, you, on the other hand, you begin to hear and understand words in the incoherent babbling, and you hear dark, sort of mind-boggling secrets whispered to you. Things that make no sense, the corporeal nature of incorporeal beings, and things that you can't hold on to for fear of completely losing your mind, run through your brain and just completely, well, not paralyze, stun you, I suppose, in your wonder of them. All right, that was this horrible creature's turn. Next up, we have the ghasts. Oh, how convenient. All right, these horrible, smelly creatures are going to... Okay, I need you to pop out so I can actually see my window. Thank you. All right, these horrible, smelly creatures are going to move towards you. Let's see how close this one can get. Can't quite make it to either of you, so it's going to get to right there. All right, it's getting as close as it can. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is also going to approach, and I've lost my last one. Or did you kill my last one? Nope, I guess you killed my last one. All right, so that is as much as the ghasts can do. I guess this one can dash and get right up to you all. All right, so... It now is Wampum's turn. You see your friend Lefkadio has sort of a glazed over look in his eyes, is shaking slightly, but it seems unable to control himself.
Since we have one in Lefkadio's face, I am going to...
Before you do anything, I forgot that I need you to make a Constitution saving throw with advantage, as you're a dwarf, and this is a poison effect. because it smells real bad with this thing that just walked up right next to you.
Poison save. So it's con save.
That is correct, yes. All right, yeah, no problem. It smells real bad, but you're able to sort of take it.
You be stinking, son. So I'm going to move to the back of him.
Alrighty.
I'm going to stay in his threat range, but come over to here.
Alrighty.
And then I'm going to attack the one that is in front of Lefcardio.
Okay.
And that was a 16 for 13.
That'll do. That just takes a you're not throwing this time, you're just able to hack and slash at him.
And then a 29 for 14.
That'll do. 2 good slashes in.
Last attack is a 19 for 16.
All right, and this one drops as well. These ghasts are no match for Wampum's axe. Anything else, Wampum?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and action surge.
Okay.
And throw at the big guy who is...
Oh, the one behind you.
Yes.
All right.
So, that's a 27 for 10.
Oddly, that'll hit, yes.
And a 19 for 17.
That will also hit... sorry, hang on 1 second. All right, so 10 and 17. Okay, great.
And I am going to, one more time, a 28 for 11.
That'll do.
And I want him to, let's see, my actions, let's see.
That's all slashing damage, right?
Yes.
Just making sure.
Nope. Actions. Features. There we go. Features.
Got him.
Let's do... On the last one, I'm going to do a distracting strike.
Okay.
For it's going to be another D10.
All right. Oops. Slash roll.
Yeah, slash. The other way.
Oh, yep. Gotta specify the slash. That's my bad.
Oh, for 10 points.
All right. And it has to make some sort of save. Is it a wisdom save? I don't remember.
No. This one is a precision strike, which with when I roll, I add a D10 to the roll, and no.
Oh, that was precision.
No. This is
distracting.
Yeah, distracting strike. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. If the next attack roll against a target by an attacker other than you has advantage, if the attack... Okay, great.
Yes.
So theoretically, Lefcardio, if you attack before Wampum's next turn, you will have advantage. Alrighty. Speaking of Lefcardio, the first thing you need to do is make me a Constitution saving throw. No, you don't, because he's dead now. Never mind. But unfortunately, you are stunned. Twitch. All right, but at the end of your turn, you are no longer stunned. So you manage to shake out the, you sort of sort out and block out the horrible secrets that were imparted to you and forcefully forget them.
I don't like that at all.
You still with me, buddy?
I'm here, buddy.
Aw, buddy. All right. It is the shadow creature's turn. Let's see if we get our... Nope. All right. So in that case, this time you are... once again, I need the both of you to make wisdom saving throws as you sort of hear more of these sort of maddening whispers and secrets. Uh-oh, that's not going to do it. And neither is that. Okay, so the two of you both take some psychic damage. Let's see how much. That's minus plus 3. So you each take 7 psychic damage, and you must use your reactions to attack each other. So go ahead and make melee attacks against each other as the madness of these dark secrets that are whispered into your mind just cause you to lash out at the closest creature you can find. So, Lefcardio, does a 17 hit you?
No, it is not.
Okay, Wampum, does a 23 hit you?
It just does, yes.
Ooh, all right, so you take 10 slashing and 5 necrotic damage from Lefkadio's weapon as he slashes at you.
I'm sorry, mate. I don't know what's come over me.
Yeah, immediately after you take the attack, you sort of come back to your senses and realize that you were sort of, seeing things and oops.
Hey, them tails hurt.
Yeah, they do. They sure do. All right, that is the this creature's turn, and it's going to sort of pull back into the shadows a little bit more. Meanwhile, we do have a remaining ghast here that is going to come to the closest creature it can see, which is going to be Lefkadio. And hey, the ghast gets to make an attack. It's probably not going to go well, but it's going to try anyway. So it is going to use its claws against you, Lefkadio, and try and rake against you. If I could not lose the window, here we go. But I bet it... Oh, that was the wrong attack anyway, but it's fine. Even if we add +2 to that, because the claws are better, it's a 10 is still not going to hit you.
Correct.
All right. So the ghast just ineffectually tries to rake at your face, but you easily and deftly parry it out of the way. Wampum, you are up.
You think you can take care of this scary thing in front of you?
Yeah, I don't like that fella back there. So you have at him.
All right, I'd be going for him.
All right. Off you go for him.
I'll go to there.
Alrighty.
And first attack is a 30 for 13 damage.
Yeah, that'll do.
Second attack is a 22 for 11.
That will do.
And the last attack is a 28 for 17.
That is enough to cause these shadows to sort of discorporate, to fall apart, to break into a million pieces, and disperse as the creature is defeated. The ghast looks around somewhat confused and concerned for a moment, but it has fresh meat in its sights.
I think he'd be gone, buddy. Finish him off.
And finish him off. I have no doubt you will, Lefkadio. Go right ahead.
All right, I'll take 3 strikes at him with my whip.
That'll
It's
do.
21 for 11 slashing and 5 necrotic.
Right.
26 for 9 slashing and 5 necrotic. 25 for 9 slashing and 5 necrotic. Just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Oh, amazingly, it is holding on by a thread, but it's still up. Thank goodness for that necrotic resistance. And by thank goodness, I mean not for you, but for me. It gets another try. You also need to make a Constitution saving throw, which I should have made you do in the first place, but none of those wouldn't have hit if you had disadvantage. It doesn't really matter.
15.
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
All right. Seeing that he withstood my barrage,
Yes, just barely, but yes.
I'm gonna book it. Say, sorry, mate, I couldn't finish him. He's all yours now.
All right. Do you have anything that would keep him from making an attack of opportunity?
My mobility.
Yes, of course, because you attacked at him. That's right. All right. So he sort of tries to scrabble for you, but you're much too quick and agile and step out of the way. The Alep is done for. We can take him off of this. So it is the ghast's turn. The ghast turns, and not really caring if it eats cat meat or dwarf meat, it's going to go for Wampum, which is going to be a terrible mistake, as it's soon to find out. But it's going to do it anyway. And so it approaches you, Wampum, and tries to claw at you as well. And I'll actually hit claw this time. And then 11 is probably not going to do it.
My floating shield just comes out and just slaps his claw away.
All right. And it is your turn, Wampum, and I have no doubt that you will finish him off.
Watch.
And that,
13.
in fact, does it. And the last of the undead horrors in this cave fall. And at this point, let's see, that was all of like 4 rounds, so a whole 24 seconds have passed. So let's just say that you two take a moment to sort of catch your breath, and by the time you've caught your breath, the arcane eye has arrived in the cave. So Kale, you can see what's happening, and you're only a couple, like maybe a minute or two behind the eye at this point, because you've been able to take a more direct path, like I said. Gentlemen in the cave, Wampum and Lefkadio, what are you all doing?
Wampum is showing Lefkadio all of the big gouges that them whips took out.
Mate, I'm sorry.
They
It was-
pretty good.
It was the shadow. It made me crazy.
They hit pretty good, I'll tell you that.
They're sort of a little blackened around the edges of each of the marks from the necrotic damage. Charming.
Really, mate, I'm sorry. I didn't want
Hey,
to
but
hit.
hey, well, I swung at you and missed you.
Oh, really? I didn't.
I didn't even
I thought
know.
it was just self-defense that you were trying to bat away my whip. I had no idea.
Well, it was. I was never going to hit you, so I missed on purpose.
You're a good man. A good man, Whoop'em.
Of course.
I think maybe we should wait. I don't hear any other screaming, so it doesn't seem like there's not that much more urgency. And if these guys were up here, there's probably more of them back there. So I think maybe we should wait now.
That might be a good suggestion.
All right, we'll hop over now to Kale and Taslan and Nas. Kale, you can see that there are some re-dead undead, I guess, lying around. Looks like Wampum has a few scratches on him. I think the rest of the damage that both of you took was psychic, so there aren't really any marks to indicate that Lefkadio has been hurt in the least. But you see them; they've clearly just finished a battle. What are the three of you doing while you continue on? You're almost at the cave at this point.
Breathing heavily because cardio is hard.
Amen.
I want the records to show that Taslim is not breathing hard. Because he's being carried.
Yep.
I was going to say, okay, let's be careful. Weird flex. Pat yourself on the back like that. You're liable to pull something. All right, excellent. So after just a few moments, you all can arrive at the mouth of the cave where Lefkadio and Wampum are catching their breath and waiting on the three of you.
I slide in like I'm wearing socks on a hardwood floor with the wizard on my shoulder invisibly, but also holding him like a bazooka. I've got his arm, and I'm like, cavalry's here.
So are we facing the same direction? So, like, you could carry me and I could cast fireballs from your shoulder?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I
okay.
hope.
Oh, so like head first. I love
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
You're invisible, so it could be a button.
So no one even sees it coming.
Right.
No one expects
Oh.
the Shadarkai Inquisition.
No.
So what you gonna shoot, girl?
I don't know. You want to tell me?
I'm here.
There'll be more dead things in this tunnel somewhere.
Okay, let's kill him.
Oh, dead
Kill him.
things! How delightful! It's like everywhere we go, it's just dead things. Like,
What you mean?
hey, let's fight a giant necrotic-resistant blight tree. Well, if I'd known this was happening, I probably would have prepared some different spells today.
Are you two all right?
Said every wizard ever.
Well, Lefkadio hit me pretty good.
Why did
Yes,
you hit him?
yes, that is what I said. Lefkadio hit me.
I don't know. I don't know what came over me. He was just real close, and I felt like I had to hit him, and he was there, and I hit him. I can't explain it.
Because he was getting away with, we all know how cats feel about dwarves.
Oh, well, whatever did this thing, is its body nearby?
Yeah, over there.
Do you mean the
Yeah.
shadow creature? Oh no, that one sort of discorporated and
Okay.
disappeared.
Ah,
It didn't leave anybody. Yeah.
Would I be easily able to recognize that these are ghasts?
Oh, the ghasts? Absolutely, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make you roll. You're a necromancer.
I'll approach Wampum and Lefkadio with holding the staff of healing in my hand and be like, does anybody like hold it, point it at them almost threateningly? Do you need this? Do you need this?
I got a boo-boo right there.
Who's got more? Who?
It wasn't that bad. Come on, Wampum, stop bringing it up. It's history. Water under the
Yes.
bridge.
This is a Lefkadio boo-boo right here.
Would it make you feel better if you hit him once, and then Kale healed you both?
No, I'm not going to hit Lefkadio.
Nobody should hit anybody. Let's.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah. So you need this, like, press it against Locadio's arm.
I'm good. I'm good.
You good?
Hey.
All right. Are you sure you're okay, or are you just whining like a little baby for no reason?
Both. I'm still whining, so yes. Right there, that boo-boo.
Okay, I will cast Cure Wounds on him using 1 charge for first level.
Okay.
And he will get a big fat 9 hit points.
Hey.
Woo! I mean, I didn't do much more damage than that, I don't think, but all right.
Okay, so is my Arcane Eye still up?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Even if we say it took 15 and 15, so it's been half an hour. It's an hour spell, right? So yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, and I don't hear anything. Like, there's no more noises.
Make a wisdom perception check.
You got it.
You can all make if you're interested.
Sure.
D20
can I pull out my wand of
dice.
Can I pull out my wand of secrets and use a charge?
Yeah, absolutely. Can.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do that.
All right.
I got a 17.
Okay. Anybody else sort of looking around, listening around?
Yeah.
I'll give you the wand of secrets in a moment.
Yeah, Wampum will definitely listen with 18.
All right.
But Ass is 23.
So what you do sort of hear is that towards the back of the cave, it sort of sounds like... I mentioned there was dripping water from some of the stalactites in this cavern. It sounds like you can hear more of it from the back of the cavern, but looking at the back of the cavern, like, the cavern just ends. So you're not really sure where the sound is coming from. Tazlin, as you pull out your Wand of Secrets and sort of expend a charge, it begins to pulse in your hand and sort of pull you around towards the back wall of the cavern, indicating that there is either a secret door or a trap back there.
Oh, sweet. So I will point and then realize I'm still invisible, and I'll like tap Nos and I'll go, that wall, far side, I believe something's there. The wand is indicating. Let's check it out, maybe? I don't know.
Here you go. I'm gonna put you down. You can regain your freedom.
All right.
No more Tazlin bazooka.
Yeah. I'll go investigate that section of the wall.
Okay. Wampum and Nos, that's also where you all heard... Or was it Nos? No, Wampum and who else? And Kale. That's also sort of where you heard the water coming from that didn't seem to have a source or an origin, is over in that far north end of the cave.
Okay. Before you walk over there, let me scout it out safely with an Arcane Eye, Tazlin.
All right.
I will happily wait.
All right. You can make, with the Arcane Eye, you can either make a Wisdom Perception or an Intelligence Investigation.
Ooh, I want
as
to
it
do
moves forward. Shocked to hear it.
I rolled a 13, I get to add 16, so 29.
Holy shit. All right, great. Yeah, so there's a door. You see at the northern end of the cave. It's not a super well hidden door. It's just that it's dark back here, and if you weren't looking for it, you probably would have passed it by. But it just looks like a sort of what looks like just another boulder at the back of the cave. Actually looks like you can sort of roll it to the side to reveal a passageway leading further on.
Does it look like there is a crack or opening or something that is 1 inch or smaller wide?
Yeah, I would imagine so. It's not like I said, it's not a super well constructed or fitted boulder. So yeah, I bet you could fit it through there. And as you sort of send the eye through, it invisibly floats through and over to the other side. And it's a pretty short little passageway, actually, probably only about 10-15 feet, that then opens out onto a small clearing that's filled with moss and a small dripping, to call it a waterfall might be a little bit generous, but I mean, that is what it is. It's a small, tiny little waterfall, which you think is probably the source of that sound that you were hearing.
Okay, that's all in there, just moss and waterfall, huh?
Yeah, well, there's this other sort of weird thing that in the very center of the clearing is a pumpkin. And sitting next to the pumpkin is a medium-sized knife.
Pumpkin and knife. Is there anything special about the knife, or is it just a regular looking knife?
No, it looks, I mean, it looks like a kitchen knife, to be honest. Like, it's not even really a weapon.
Okay.
I mean, you could certainly use it as a weapon, but...
Sure. Okay, and the moss is normal moss?
Yeah, make an intelligence nature check.
Where are my d20s? I just rolled one. How did I lose it?
I do it all the time.
That one wasn't great. 10.
10. I mean, looks like moss.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll say, okay, it looks like there's just an empty cove back there, but I would like to get a closer look at it with my real eyeballs. So
I think we can take care of that boulder.
absolutely, if there's one thing that I know you can do,
I have full confidence.
move heavy objects, yeah.
All right. Wampum, it's your moment. Well, it was
So
also your moment when you took down a lot of ghasts in the Alep, but anyway.
So where is this boulder at?
So it's on sort of the far northern end of the cave, and it's once it's pointed out, yeah, exactly. Once it's pointed out to you, it's kind of hard to miss. Like I said, it's not. It was a secret door by dint of the fact that it was dark and kind of vaguely looked like a wall, but it's not super well hidden once you get up close.
All right, I'll go ahead and push it out the way.
Do it. It'll take a strength athletics check, please.
A 20.
Oh yeah, that'll do. I mean, it's definitely heavy, but you sort of realize as you it takes a little bit of a shove to get going. But once you start pushing, you can see that actually it's rather cleverly. The edges of it have been rather cleverly smooth, so that once it starts rolling, it's actually quite easy to get it to move the rest of the way. So you sort of get the sense that with one good shove, even someone weaker than you and a good bit weaker than you could probably move this out of the way.
And of course, I'm moving it with great difficulty.
Yes.
Yes. Grunting and my footfalls are sliding in the dirt, and
Absolutely. Yes, 100% all of that. I love it.
Do you have that wampum? Do you need help? I mean,
no, I got this.
I can't
Are
do
you
it,
sure?
but
Nos could help you.
Nos can definitely help.
I think he's faking it.
And then Wampum will laugh and just put his hand out and keep pushing.
What? Thought so.
Wampum, your people know a lot about rocks. Does that look like it has been, it was made artificially the shape that it is? Or does it seem natural to you?
Does it look to be dwarven worked?
Without a check, I will definitely say it does not look dwarven worked. Make me a. No, I don't even think you need to roll for this. You've been around. It's not dwarven work. It's not that good, frankly. But it definitely has been worked. Like I mentioned, someone has gone in and sanded away or smoothed away at parts of the boulder in such a way that it'll move rather freely. Of course, I don't know if you want to share that part, but
It definitely wasn't dwarves, because we do a lot better than this. But somebody worked it pretty bad, if you ask me.
So they were trying to make it so the rocks will roll?
Yes.
Ah.
Is there any more you wanted to add after that? Or okay. Thought we might be going somewhere with you on a little journey, maybe.
No, not today.
All right. Well, we don't have time. We heard screaming, so we
yeah.
should go help.
I mean, well, they aren't screaming now, so odds are they're already dead. So.
Be nice to know either way.
I mean, we'll find out regardless. I don't think they're. Well, I mean, maybe their dead body will go somewhere. I mean, there were gas in the other room. It's true.
Right.
But so what did you see in there?
So it was just an empty cove. There was some moss and some small waterfall and a pumpkin and a knife next to the pumpkin in the middle.
You mean like the? And correct me if I'm wrong. The pumpkin head was part of what we were told about the horseman. Was that
one?
Of course, the Dark Rider. So a pumpkin much like the one that was on the head of the Dark Rider?
Was it? Did it look like it had a face on it or anything?
This one does not. No, it's just a plain pumpkin.
No, it was just a pumpkin. But there was a knife there, so I assume somebody could use that to carve a face out of it if they wanted or needed to.
Well, that's good enough for me. I'm going to go in.
Right.
I'm invisible still, so I'll mosey on in. Excuse me, pardon me.
I'll be going too. You're not going alone.
Okay.
I mean, yes, I'll also go, but not first.
Okay. All right. So Invisible Taslin leads the charge into this next chamber. Fantastic. All right, and so like I said, short little tunnel out into this open clearing, and that's, I mean, you know what you see: moss, pumpkin, knife, waterfall.
I want to get real close to this pumpkin. I want to look at this pumpkin as hard as I've ever looked at anything before.
I want to look at the knife.
Okay.
And Taslin, if he's able, will probably try to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly able. You can both make me intelligence investigation checks.
Sure.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Wampum whispers to Knock, this is not going to go well.
I keep touching stuff.
I got a 30.
I got a 10.
All right. It is we'll start with the 10 because it's funnier. It is a knife. It is sharp. It is well balanced for the chopping of root vegetables. I don't know. It's a knife.
Actually, it's a vine vegetable, so...
but maybe I didn't mean it was good for the pumpkin. Maybe I meant as a potato knife. I didn't mean that. Gosh. All right.
Can we question them?
I assume he asked if we could question the knife. Yeah, he froze at a really great moment, but I assume it was, can we question the knife? And I'm going to say no and move on to Kale. So, Kale, Kale, you do a little bit of a better check of what's going around here. And the pumpkin itself, like I said, looks, I mean, you can see where it was cut off the vine and placed here in the clearing. But what catches your eye more than the pumpkin itself, because after a pretty cursory glance, I mean, it looks like it's just a pumpkin. But as you look a little bit closer, what you do see is that there are chunks of pumpkin that seem to be lying sort of on the ground around the current whole intact pumpkin, which is odd, as this pumpkin looks intact, and yet there are pieces of pumpkin around.
Does it seem like they've been there for a while? Like, are they starting to rot?
No, I don't think so. No, they're still freshish.
All right. While I'm doing that, if I still have the arcane eye up.
Yeah, I think so. We're getting in on it, but still got it for now.
All right. I will have it go through behind the waterfall, see if there's anything back there. Or...
Yeah, go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check.
Okie dokie. 18.
Sort of does a little circuit of this clearing, and actually what you notice is that behind the waterfall, and actually behind a lot of the hanging moss and other sort of plants that are surrounding this clearing, you're actually still inside the cave, because behind all of that plant life are just stone walls. And looking through all of them, it doesn't look like there's really any other way in or out of this clearing chamber.
Taslin, is there any magic remaining in your Wand of Secrets?
Yes, I do believe I have 2 more charges, and I will expend one right now.
All right, so the wand pulses once again and begins to draw your hand towards, you think at first towards the pumpkin, but then you realize it's actually the ground right underneath the pumpkin.
All right. What level of a strength check are we looking to have to push this pumpkin out of the way, like, with as much exertion as Wampum did?
I mean, I really want to watch you do that, but it is just a pumpkin.
Yeah. Taslin will just kind of move the pumpkin aside.
All right, the pumpkin moves aside.
Is there anything underneath it that I was set on, or just underneath? Well, it looks like there's something below us, or below right here.
Does it actually look from my eyes like there's something...
You can look a little closer. Go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check.
Can I assist him?
You certainly can. With advantage.
Oh, thank God.
Is that how you look? Yeah.
24.
You don't see, I mean, obviously, like, the magic in Taslin's wand is usually pretty reliable, but looking with your eyes, you don't see anything there.
Can I poke it to see if it's an illusion?
Certainly, you
yeah.
poke.
I'll poke it with the staff.
It is soft and somewhat springy, but not, in fact, an illusion. Springy just because it's, like, mossy and verdant.
Yeah.
Does it seem, I mean,
And it could be a cave system below us, correct? And it could be pulsating towards a door that may be hidden if this winds down further and girls around.
As these guys are concentrating on this area, Wampum's going to go over and get the pumpkin.
Okay. So Wampum goes over and picks up the pumpkin.
And quickly with my hand axe, carve out the bottom of it.
Okay. How much of the bottom of it?
Enough to fit over my head.
I love everything about it. Yes, absolutely. Nos?
Oh man, that's I think that's an offering. And it's not for you.
As he's like got it hovering, because I mean, you know,
whatever.
absolutely watch him like carving it. I don't know if at what point in the process did you stop him?
When he started putting the blade into it.
Okay, great.
But
okay.
At this point, it's like.
All right. All right. So while you're doing that, Nos sort of briefly and then is like, whatever. Nos and Lefkadio, while Wampum is carving this, what are you two doing? Other than trying to stop Wampum very briefly, Nos.
I'm gonna pull the rum out of my pack and take a big long swig and pass it to Lefkadio.
I love that.
I'm looking the other way. I'm not looking at the pumpkin business. I'm looking outside the door, making sure no one's coming up from behind us and trying to hear if anything else is going on. So the bottle of rum will hit my shoulder and I'll reach back.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks, mate.
Aw.
Yeah.
Such a good bunch. All right, Wampum, you've got that thing carved out.
I'm gonna put it on my head, and
which of course comes out.
Yeah.
Slightly muffled from the pumpkin, but it's it still has its effect. So Kale and Tazlin, I don't know if that distracts you two out of looking at this patch of ground, but
I'd say at this point I'm pretty used to Wampum doing stupid shit.
And I think Tazlin probably already has gotten bored. Like, Tazlin doesn't have the patience for it. He's like, oh, it's Moss, alright. And kind of, can see Moss wherever I want. Don't really care anymore. And he's gonna hold his newly acquired jack-o'-lantern knife. Can I call it that? Can I call it my jack-o'-lantern knife?
totally.
And
Hasn't actually carved a lantern yet, but absolutely.
And he'll pocket it. And he's just gonna start heading back to that main thing. And he'll announce it because he's still invisible. He'll just go, I'm going back the other way now.
I keep forgetting you're invisible during all of this.
Maybe he'll turn it. He'll probably turn it off. Bonus action, like cancel it and say,
All right.
"I'm going out that way." And then,
Okay.
All right,
Turn
well,
it
hold
back
on
on.
1 second before you do that, Tazlin. I think, who was it? Lefkadio, do you still have the pickaxe?
He gave it back to me. You need it?
Yes. No. Well, I probably shouldn't use it because I don't really have the. But if you could hit the floor here with it, I think maybe.
You want to
might
figure
have
out
to.
what the consistency is like underneath?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, I'll use my glaive for that because it's a stick.
Okay, great. So you poke in, and it at first it's super easy. It sinks in a little bit. It feels like there's a little bit of a layer of soil here, that the moss and grass on top, whatever, that's all normal. It gets a few inches deep, though, and it hits something much more solid. And you can kind of poke at it, and it feels probably like something on the level of hardness of stone underneath, which is not super surprising, I guess, although...
If I wiggle it, does it have kind of a grain to it?
A little. Well, go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check. Let's see. See what you get from that.
Oh no.
Just like you know, we have a thunderstorm right over top of us. So if I cut out, I'll be back.
I will assume that more pumpkin shenanigans go on in your absence. We'll come up with some good ones for you. Nos, what was the perception check?
13.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I will say that it doesn't just feel like, a flat chunk of stone. It feels like maybe there's some sort of shape or grain or something to it. It's about as much as you can get.
Yeah, there's something under there. You want me to?
If you think it's stone, then please. Yeah. I haven't known Tazlin's wand to be false.
Okay. Do I don't have a shovel anymore.
Has Taslin's wand been false? Trying to think.
Not that I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think I have a shovel. I do have a shovel.
Mira,
It's a necromancer.
thought you'd never use it.
I did. Well, besides maybe digging up corpses, but
Sure.
in my lead time, Taslin will walk back over and he'll like toss his shovel over.
All right. Good catch, Nos.
And I'll remove that from my inventory.
All right. So, Nos, you can take just a couple of minutes to sort of clear off the soil and the greenery on top of this area of stone. And what you see beneath, it just takes a couple of minutes, like I said. Once you see beneath is definitely like a worked stone floor. Let me have, Kale, I assume you're there as well, sort of keeping an eye on these things. So let me have the two of you. I will take either wisdom perception or intelligence investigation.
Can I cast guidance on myself?
Sure.
Awesome.
All right. Another 13 for Nos.
Got a 25 on investigation.
So Nos, you definitely can catch a glimpse that it looks like something is carved into this stone, but it's hard for you to get a real read on the sort of big picture. Kale, you have sort of a better understanding almost right away that there are some sort of arcane glyphs and sigils carved into this bit of stone here. I will also say, notably for both of you, you notice the writing and the carving. What you don't notice is any indication of like a passageway or a doorway, or that this stone is like the cover of some sort of trapdoor or something like that. It does look like just flat stone.
Okay. So you said writing, is it like in a particular language, or is it just like...
It's sort of magical glyphs and stuff. You can make an intelligence arcana check if you'd like. See if you can
You
interpret
got
it.
Do they glow? Would I have been drawn to this?
They don't glow. No, not at the moment, anyway. Nos, you're welcome to make an Arcana check as well if you would like.
I got a
you
28.
Kale can sort of point them out to you, but a 28 is lovely. How did
I got a
we-
17.
Hey!
I knew that's magical.
You do, in fact, know. You've been around these yokels long enough. You know it's magic. Learning. All right, Kale. You. It's weird, and some of it is sort of outside of your purview of magic for sure. But what you manage to figure out is that it does seem to be some sort of a guard spell or a locking spell or something that is to you very clearly like sealing off whatever's underneath. The other bits, like, you sort of stare at for a moment and you're like, I can't possibly be reading this right, because what it seems to indicate is that it has something to do with the pumpkin, how you gain access to whatever this glyph or set of sigils is protecting. Something about it has something to do with the pumpkin and doing something with the pumpkin.
Look over at Wampum.
Yeah, I look over at Wampum and I go like,
Yeah.
well, that's probably not gonna work anymore. Hey, Taslin,
Yeah.
could you come take a look at this? This looks
Sure.
more wizardy than...
Oh boy, wonderful. I'll take a look at it, I suppose. Does it glow?
It doesn't glow. No.
Well, okay, I'm a little bit less interested, but alright, let's take a look at this.
Like-
So, would you like an Arcana check?
Oh yeah, let's start with an intelligence arcana. We'll go
Can
from there.
I, guidance or assist
You can
him?
absolutely guidance him, yeah, or you do both if you like.
I will do both.
Alright.
With what you rolled well enough, with what you've already sort of figured out, we'll make sure that you do well on this check, by gods.
That is a whopping 27.
All right.
And then the guidance, let me throw that on.
Oh,
That's
yes.
a 1d4, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's a 3.
Okay, so that's a 30. Fantastic. Okay, so you also have a moment where you're like, this can't be right. But you're pretty sure what you have to do is carve a face into the pumpkin, and for whatever reason, that will give you access to whatever is beneath this stone.
Wampa, can I see that pumpkin real quick?
Right. Here you go.
Alright. And I'm gonna pull out the jack-o'-lantern carving knife, and,
Great.
I'm gonna get a nod of like agreement from everyone before I do this, because I know that Tazlin has a bad history of going and not asking. And it'll be like, it says you gain access to the pumpkin's magic if you carve a face.
Sort of.
Just any face, or?
I don't know, but I'm going to carve a really cool face.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna carve that face.
All right.
Wait.
Oh.
I've got something to add to that. I'm gonna go back, grab some of the other pieces that have fallen out, preferably like a couple of triangles.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to adhere it to the side of the pumpkin.
Oh,
so it's a
nice.
hobgoblin pumpkin.
Yes, I love that. All right, so you sort of stick those on. Tazlin, make me a dexterity sleight of hand. I don't know, to carve this thing. Yeah, let's call it a dexterity sleight of hand.
I'm not really good at that, but
See how, I mean, you'll manage to carve the basics of a face. I just want to know how cool it is.
Oh, okay. That was sleight of hand.
Oh,
7.
It's okay, so it's so bad that maybe you tried to make it like really horrifyingly malformed just to be scary because it's that bad.
Oh man, that's fair. Do the ears help though?
Oh, for sure.
Like counting as like advantage on that roll? No, I'm kidding. They don't pull it together. Okay.
I'm not giving you credit for her creativity.
So Tazlin looks like a kindergartner's project from like art class, and he's just like really proud of it. Like sets it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. However, as scary, professionally scary as it is, it does. I mean, there are 2 eyes and like a nose-ish and a mouth-ish. And as soon as you finish carving the last of those features, hey, the writing begins to glow, Tazlin, and it glows. And the stone sort of sinks down just a couple of inches, ever so slightly, and moves off to the side. And you can see, excuse me, you can see a set of spiral stairs leading downwards into darkness.
So would we like to continue looking up here before we go take these stairs, or would we like to take the stairs now?
I would like to take the stairs right now because someone needed help.
All right.
That's fair.
So down you all head down these stairs. Yes, anyone not joining us? Sorry that we took your helmet, Wampum.
I can't believe he just ruined it.
On the upside, if you make scary noises inside of it now, there's holes so that they won't be so muffled.
Wampum is going to take the pumpkin with him.
Yeah. Yes, take inspiration. I love it. All right, so down you all head. You go down these spiral stairs. They go quite deep into the ground, and the deeper you get, the more the sort of smell of damp and moss gives way to a sort of tangy, coppery smell that you eventually realize is blood. And at the bottom of the stairs, you see sitting on the floor, holding a wound at her side that is seeping blood. With one hand, she's holding the wound. With the other hand, she is holding a dagger, sort of raised up at your approach. But clearly, it is a feeble defense against the 5 of you. A woman with long, dark hair. And Tazlin, to your great surprise, she looks not personally familiar, but she definitely looks much like you. This is very obviously another Shatterkai woman.
Oh, man. Yeah. How is Tazlin going to react to seeing someone from some place he doesn't want to go back to? Hello! You can put that dagger down. If I wanted you dead, I would have already blasted you with magic.
I don't know if that makes her feel better.
Very diplomatic.
He's got a charisma of 10.
I think maybe she holds it higher and grips it tighter.
Is the enemy still around?
That catches her attention. She sort of flinches and looks around and then realizes what exactly it was that you asked, and she shakes her head.
I presume it's probably best if you all did the talking. I'll be over there, and I'm just gonna move awkwardly to like the side.
I'll talk to her. Boogie, 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 boogie.
Okay, all right.
Caslin cracks up at that.
Oh my god, she's been through so much, and now she just doesn't know what to... I think she just drops the dagger and like...
I'll give her some alcohol if she wants it. I'll pull out some of that rum, offer it.
I think after the boogie, I think she will in fact take it. Because she does realize, I mean, as ineloquent perhaps as it was, like, she realizes that Tesla was right. Like, you all could have blasted her, immediately if you really wanted to. So, she'll take it.
Okay. What's your name? Who are you? Why are you down here? What's going on? What's the deal?
She takes a big swig, and as she swallows, she sort of winces, and then looks for a moment, and sort of nods to you, Nos, and sort of apologetically, like, lifts the flask, and she takes her hand away from these awful, what you can now see are these awful, what look like claw marks that have rended into her side, and she sort of pours what's left in the flask onto that and just...
Oh, no, don't do that. You're wasting rum.
We'll get more.
I can handle that, and I'll press the staff. Well, first I'll hold it up and be like, I can heal you with this. Are you okay? Is this fine?
She nods. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll just press it up against somewhere on her body and cast. I'll do 2 charges, I guess, of cure wounds.
Yeah. It doesn't look. It looks pretty nasty. So yeah, that's makes sense.
Okay. And she'll get 11 plus 5 is 16 hit points worth of healing.
All right. So she, you can see her visibly relax. I mean, it's there's still marks there, but they're not bleeding as freely, and she clearly is. She was definitely in a bad way before, but she's a little more stable now, and she sort of takes a deep breath and sort of shakes the flask because she definitely managed to empty it before you stopped her. So she sort of she shrugs and hands it back to.
I'm all right with that.
Okay, and she says, "Thank you." I have no idea why you're here, but I suppose I'm glad to see you. My name is Enelin. Who are all of you? And with that, we're going to take our break. I think we're about halfway in, so we're going to take a short little break. We'll be back shortly to find out what goes on with Enelin. Before we do go on our break, though, please do remember we are doing a giveaway today. I forgot to mention that at the top of the show, but we are doing a giveaway to give away a copy of a PDF copy of Uncaged Anthology Volume 1, which is what this adventure is from, written by the amazing Judy Black Cloud on Twitter. Really super awesome adventure, one among many. So if you would like to enter the competition, the drawing to win a PDF copy of Uncaged Anthology, just type in, what do they type in? !ticket, right, for your one free entry, and then all of the entries after that cost an additional 20 dragons, which are the currency here on the stream that you accumulate for spending time watching us. So yeah, enter, it'll be great. We'll give it away at the end of the stream. Do that while we are away on break. We'll see you back shortly. Thanks, everybody. Oh, no, Graham, what did we gave you a countdown and he wasn't ready. All right, everybody, shame Graham, because he wasn't ready for the return of us. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks. Hope you got a drink, alcoholic or otherwise. Maybe checked out the Uncaged Anthology on, thank you, shame in the chat. Maybe checked out the Uncaged Anthology Volume 1 on the DM's Guild. If you didn't, you should definitely do that, because there are a bunch of really awesome adventures in addition to this one that we're playing now for all 4 tiers of play, levels 1 through 20. Really good stuff. We are going to be giving a copy of that away at the end of tonight's stream, so if you want to enter... First entry is free. Type !ticket into the chat. All future entries are just 20 dragons. Again, dragons are the stream currency here at Crituitous RP that you collect for just watching us. If you want to know how many dragons you have, you can type !dragon into the chat and it will tell you. So you can buy all of the tickets. It'll be great. Yes, we just have a link in chat also. Thank you. I believe that's Elise. Hi, Elise, for linking that for us. You can check out the product. If you do not win tonight's giveaway, you should definitely go check out the product on your own. Support those awesome creators, writers, artists, all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah. Good stuff. Shall we get back into it, since we did just find out that we have met the person we were looking for? So we are back into this cave. Kale has used his Staff of Healing to heal up Enelin, and she has introduced herself, saying that she's not entirely sure who you all are or why you are there, but she supposes she's glad enough to see you, since you probably saved her from a slow and rather painful death by claw wound.
Good. Yes, who did this to you? What's going on? Why are you here? What's happening? Oh, wait, you asked who I am. I'm sorry. Let me answer your question first.
She did.
It'd be very rude of me to not answer your question. My name is Kale
Rude, but pretty
Irvine.
par for the course for adventurers, I have to say.
My name is Kale Irvine. I'm adherent to Denier. I'm, a Healy person. These are friends of mine. We were just passing through your town, and the mayor, I believe, Mayor Bricks wanted us to see if you were okay. Actually, they were concerned about you.
Let's see. She sort of takes all that in and she says, well, you have in fact come to our small town at a rather inauspicious dark time, I'm sorry to report, but if you've spoken with Mayor Bricks, you know that. I suppose I am okay now. I was chased from my home by some undead horrors, which I'm surprised you didn't meet along the way, I must say.
Oh, they've been dealt with.
She looks suitably impressed. She says, well, perhaps then it is best that you have come to town. You see, She sort of pauses and looks a little downcast, and she says, well, it's my fault, you see. All of it.
Why is that?
She says, the horsewoman, because she doesn't know of your preference for not using that term.
It stings a little, you just went.
She says the horsewoman, she's in fact my patron. I have made a pact with her long ago for some small measure of power, and well, it was my negligence that allowed her to be brought here for nefarious purposes. You see, the artifact that I used to commune with her, to connect to her, was stolen from me. And so long as the tome of dark power that I use to commune with the Dullahan is outside of my possession, I have no control, no say over what she does, nor does she herself have any control or say over herself. It is both a gift and a curse, the power of that shadow book.
I'm sorry, what was that word you said? The Dullahan? What is that?
The Dullahan, it is, well, I suppose it is her name. It is also what she is, who she is. She is a powerful creature from... And as she says this, she looks over to Taslan. She just glances his direction, but she says she's a powerful creature from the Shadowfell, who, as I said, I have chosen to ally with.
Can I roll an insight check? Is she to just see if she's being completely forthright and honest?
Yeah, of course, kid. Go for it.
Yeah. Because usually people don't fess up that things are their fault this easy.
Oh,
Nat 20.
Nat 20. She's not being deceitful, but she definitely is dancing around a few topics here and there. But nothing that she said comes off as a lie to you. She just, is holding some stuff back.
A shadow book. And what was the nature of your pact with this patron?
She looks a little bit not uncomfortable because she wants to hide anything. It sort of strikes you. We'll carry over that natural 20 insight. Like it's almost like she's embarrassed, maybe, or like that was a more personal question than perhaps you intended it to be. She says, she sort of shakes it off though and says, "Well, as I mentioned, I've made a deal with the Dullahan for some small measure of magical power, which of course is lost to me for the moment, since my connection to my patron has been broken."
Why is your patron cutting off heads?
This part, she looks angry, and she says, because that is what the person who took the book from me has decided she should do. He misuses her power, her abilities, her weapons.
And you're sure it's a he?
Oh yes, it was Andy's.
Andy's.
You recall, since though it has been 2 years, right? Yes, very good. Yes.
So Andy's took the book to kill all the other politicians so he can have his post back.
That is my assumption, or at the very least wreak havoc among the town, and to the point where they would beg to have him reinstalled as mayor.
And that brings the question, why are you down here?
She says, well, obviously I have known for some time what Andy's was up to, though I thought that I would be able to talk some sense into her, and at the very least get the tone back for myself. Unfortunately, he got wise to my plans, summoned those horrible creatures, or rather used the Dullahan to summon those horrible creatures which chased me from my home into my sanctuary here. I was able to get away, and she sort of gestures towards the what's left of those claw wounds, and she says, but not before they caused quite a bit of damage. To be honest with you, I came down here to die, hoping that perhaps with my death, the Dullahan would be freed from her obligations on the material plane, and perhaps the book would no longer hold any power over her, since it was my pact with her that created the magic of the book in the first place.
Why did you make this pact to begin with?
She chuckles and says, well, why does any warlock make a pact with their patron? Power, honestly. It ended up becoming much more than that, but I wanted to do things that I could not do, to have impact on events that I could not have alone.
Of course, but that's a very neutrally minded way of putting that. There are some folks who make such pacts out of good or kindness and want to help people with that power. Is that what you want to do, or were you seeking to help yourself?
She says, neutral is, frankly, an excellent description for it. The power that the Dullahan provides me in and of itself is neither good nor evil, and frankly, my reasons for wanting it in the first place were the same, neither good nor evil. It was for myself, yes. I wanted to have the power to influence things. I have had it for some time. The Dullahan and I have been erstwhile allies for some time now, and I have seen enough to know that though I would never think that I would use the powers to harm anyone who didn't deserve it or for evil, with power comes a bit of a graying and a blurring of some lines. I can tell you with complete certainty and confidence that for as long as I've lived here and participated in the town government here, all I have ever wished is good for this town, and have never used my powers for ill against anyone here, visitor or resident.
What did you know about the Shadowfell exactly before you made this pact?
She, again, her eyes sort of dart over to Tazlin, but she, I'm going to keep doing that. It doesn't matter. Tazlin is going to dart her eyes over to him again.
Immediately when their eyes meet, he goes, looks away.
She smirks a little bit, and she says, I spent some fair time on the Shadowfell myself. It is not my wish to return anytime soon, but I am familiar with its denizens, with its ways.
And you thought, what, that you could make a pact with some great undead or evil power and bring it out to the material plane and use it for, what, your own personal gain?
She actually looks somewhat affronted by this, and she says, the Dullahan is not an evil power, nor is she undead. The Shadowfell is misunderstood by so many. And again, she keeps darting her eyes over at Taslim, who at this point is very obviously pointedly avoiding her glances. But she says, yes, there are creatures and powers of great evil in the Shadowfell, but there are also those who exist and do their best to survive with no evil intent towards others, should they not be attacked or harmed themselves. Neutral, as you put it, is what many of us who have spent any time on the Shadowfell are, and what many of those who come from there are as well. It has a connotation for evil because those of you who name the prime material plane as your home, you see darkness as frightening, as unknown, as scary and evil, and the light as an. Do you openly wear a holy symbol of Denier, Kale?
Yeah.
She notices it, and she says, meaning no disrespect, of course, seeing the light as the ultimate arbiter of good. But I am here to tell you that things are not always so clear, particularly in places where the light has trouble shining.
I will go to put my hand on Kale's shoulder, and then I'll remember that he doesn't like that a bit, and I'll just kind of I'll whisper. I was like, Kale, mate, why are you being so hard on her?
Kale was about to say something, and then Lokai whispered that in his ear, and all right, just where can we find the former Mayor Andes so we can get this book under control?
He has been spending much time sequestered away in his office at his home on the other side of town. I believe it is his goal to sort of keep a low profile until the Dullahan has completed his orders, carried out his orders, and he's able to sort of swoop in, save the town from the darkness or what have you. My guess is that he is there, along with the shadow book that controls the Dullahan. Last I saw, he kept the book locked in a cold iron safe box. The Dullahan, of course, is a native to the Shadowfell, but has a touch of Fey within her and is unable to touch cold iron. So she has been unable to retrieve the book for herself, and of course I was never able to get close enough to retrieve it either. But if you are looking to find Andes, and I believe perhaps the 5 of you are the ones who should seek him out, it is likely that you will find him there in his office.
Oh no, the 6 of us.
6 of you.
6 of us.
She counts.
I gesture to her. You're coming with us.
And she looks down and she sort of shakes her head and she says, honestly, if that is your wish, I will, but I must warn you that I am not quite up to my full strength. She looks down at the gashes that are, as I said, still there. And she says, and I'm not sure how much help I'll be in a fight. Without the tome, the powers that the Dullahan normally grants me are not mine to command.
This is your mess, and you're going to do your part in helping us clean it up.
Kale, I know.
Go ahead.
I know it's not my place, and quite certainly, every Shadar Kai is different. But perhaps it may be better to have her watched by the guards while we sort this mess, so that she gets nowhere close to the book. If she had ill intentions, certainly she would try to retrieve the book as soon as possible as we released it from its cage, and would turn on us. If she is away from proximity of the book, that means it's within our control, and that no outside interferences may meddle.
You don't think we can keep her under lock and key? You don't think you could keep her from getting to the book if you really wanted to?
If I wanted to keep her from the book, I simply would have killed her right now, and I wouldn't have to be thinking about it.
So if it's not really a problem for you, which it sounds like it's not, because if it was, you would have taken steps to resolve it already. Why not just bring her along? I don't know about you, but I've had my fill of people meddling with interplanar affairs or extraplanar affairs and drawing things like the Shadowfell and the Feywild back into the material plane and causing problems.
Amen, brother!
And as much as I don't really mind helping resolve these issues, I think the people responsible for them directly should take some personal responsibility and help resolve them themselves.
She sort of holds her hands up and she says, if you want me along, I will come along. You're not wrong. Though I think perhaps you misunderstand the nature of good and evil in the dark places, I don't disagree with you. It was my mess, and frankly, I came here to deal with it in the only way that I thought I would be able to, which was by dying. Tagging along with the 5 of you while you go to confront Andes is a less certain death than waiting here to bleed out or die of sepsis from ghoul and ghast claws.
I think you're kind of making assumptions about my friend here by saying you think he doesn't understand. You don't know what he knows.
You are correct. I do not know.
Kind of hypocritical.
Kale thinks she's kind of playing up the injuries at this point because he like just healed her.
Sure.
Can I do like a medicine check maybe? See.
Yeah, do it.
So while Kale's like investigating her, Tazlin's just gonna throw his hands up in the air and he's going to go, well, I'm going back to town. I'll be up there. If anyone needs me, I'll wait for you by the entrance.
So when is the next time this Dallahan thing is going to show its face?
She lets you sort of examine her, Kale, as she answers Wampum and says, it's been at least a couple of days at this point, so I imagine probably rather soon. If not tonight, then likely sometime tomorrow. Kale, what'd you get on that check?
22.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely still injury there. She's perfectly capable of getting up and moving around and what just happened?
Did
It was a
Casey
nat
Carl
20.
have?
So
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a nat
nice.
20. It was
Nice. I missed it. Sorry.
rolled an 11, but
she's mechanically speaking, she's probably not quite at full hit points, but like she's perfectly capable of getting up and walking around. Yeah.
right. And he'll say as much to her, like, you're fine.
She says, absolutely. As I said, my biggest concern with accompanying you is not that I am not fully healed and healthy as a young babe. It's more that I'm not sure how much help I'll be in any sort of confrontation, but I will see what I can do and accompany you if that is what you wish.
It is. I'll get up and I will gesture for everybody to start making their way out.
And she certainly will take the lead. Yeah, she has no problem with that. Yeah, absolutely.
So do we let the shield fodder go first?
Is she the only thing that's in this cavern? Is there anything else of interest? Because we kind of just stopped at her.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, for the most part, she clearly like has sort of created a space for herself down here. There's a small wooden table that has a couple of candles on it, a few sort of arcane implements, nothing super valuable looking, some blank parchment and things, and a quill and some ink on the table with a little chair next to it, a few like burned out torches, things like that. It looks like anything valuable isn't down here at the moment, though.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
I'll, everyone is exiting, and I'll exit last, so I'm behind everyone.
Okay.
And then I'll use my my celestial ability of healing light to heal her some more.
Okay.
I will give her 25 more hit points of
All
healing.
right. That is much appreciated. Let's see. 25, you said? Yeah, I see it now.
Yep.
Okay, great. Excellent. All right, so you all make your way back up the spiral stairs, which leads you to that little clearing. Then through into the cave. She nods appreciatively at all of the stinking ghoul or ghast bodies. and then back through the woods towards her home and into town. Yes.
Would it not be more expedient if this Dullahan is to attack tonight to simply use the amulet to teleport back?
That seems a little bit much.
The amulet of the plains.
Yeah, we can walk.
Oh my gods. Suddenly you're in Chult. I mean, that's
If we're walking, while we're walking, I'll confab with the group. I'll say, so are we thinking that we're gonna wait, or are we just gonna go up to Andy's house and knock on the door, see what happens?
I have no problem with resolving this as soon as possible, but if anybody else would prefer to wait, I know you and Wampum had a bit of an episode earlier, for lack of a better word.
so one way to put it.
There wasn't much.
Okay.
How are you feeling, Wampum?
I could use an hour for some mead.
Perhaps it would. How many? Since she's still with us, how many politicians are left alive at this point in this town?
Oh gosh.
Only 3 out of 8 are dead.
Yeah, so 5 plus the mayor.
So, if the Dullahan was to act, it would be going after one of those 5.
I mean,
More
as
than
far
likely.
as she can, as far as she can tell, yes, she does say that she thinks that sort of the real prize goose is the mayor. So if the mayor were to leave her house and be out and about, that she would probably be target number 1. But she's been holed up in her house for several days since she was first attacked. So that's why Enelin thinks the other council members have been sort of gone after lately.
If only one of us had the ability to change faces into the mayor.
Well, we already talked about that.
We did. It was Plan A for you and I stand by it.
So I don't know what the rest of you are thinking, but I'm thinking it may be worth it to inform Brix at least about Enelin and as much as we know now, so that if we do not succeed, the fight can continue.
I don't disagree with that, but I'd also add that I don't. From the sounds of it, enemy is this Andy's fella. Primarily, like if we were to, lure the Dullahan out in some sort of disguise or whatever, then we'd still have to, deal with the Andys. And if we could just get the book away from Andys, then we wouldn't have to fight with anyone. That way there's no risk of any bloodshed at all if we just get the book.
And
Yeah.
we're 100% certain that Andes has this book.
Enelin volunteers that the last time she saw Andy's, he definitely had the book.
Well, if you know where it is, then just point it out. When we get closer to town, I will take a look.
She knows where it's likely to be, yeah. So she can, as you guys get a little closer into town, you can see Andy's house. It's one of the nicer sort of manses on sort of the opposite side of town from where the forest is, where her cabin was. And she tells you his office is up on the second floor of the building.
Okay. And how far away are we from Mayor Brix's house?
So Brix is her house is sort of closer to the center of town because it's near town hall. So I would say at this point probably like Brix's house is halfway between y'all and Andy's manse.
Okay. So if we want to inform the mayor first, let's all go do that together. And while that's going on, since we're already here, I'll get out the Tome of Denier again and I'll run a hand over and cast Arcane Eye again.
Okay.
And I'll go check out that house and see if I can find. And I guess I'll ask. I will ask Andy's. Where for a good description of the thing I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And while he's doing that, I'm gonna go with Iskar with the guard and talk through the familiar.
Okay. Great. What are you doing with this card?
He's just gonna use message and see. He's like gonna grab onto Wampum so he can see, and he'll just convey the basics. Be like, I'm back in town. No need to worry. We're back in touch.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, are you giving her any details about what you found out, or just that you guys
Absolutely
are back?
not.
Okay,
Just
great.
saying
Great.
I'm back in reach.
Great. Fine. Great. Totally fine.
Wampum is heading to his friend at the tavern.
Okay. So Wampum is not going to the mayor's house with the rest of you. That's fine.
Wait, did I say I latched onto Wampum?
Oh, right. Yes, you did.
Well, I assumed to convey that it takes like 18 seconds, so I would
Sure.
probably have released him and gone
Okay.
with the rest of the
No
party.
problem. Nos and Lefcadio, you all heading to Brix's house as well, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great. All right, so, Kale, you get a fairly good description of at least the sort of general layout of the house, enough to move the eye around and get it up there. So it'll get there 30 feet, you said, right? So we'll get there shortly. Wampum, you show up, and the bartender takes a deep breath and starts filling 2 tankards.
I like it.
He as right before he sets them down in front of you, he says, he was the Drank's voice, right? So he says, have you saved the town yet?
Well, we probably about halfway.
All right, well, I'll charge you half price then.
That Wampum is going to go look for a very comfortable chair
Okay, yeah, totally.
and try to get like an hour rest in.
Okay, all right, we'll see how long these guys are over at the mayor's, but you're on your way to that nice restful chair by the fireplace in the tavern. Over at Brix's, so you all arrive, and you knock on the door, and once again, Brix's wife, whose name is escaping me, Gina, answers the door, and she's a little surprised to see you all back so soon. She sort of says, is everything okay? And then she sees Enelin with you, and she sort of recoils and just looks questioningly at all of you.
Well, we found Enelin. She told us what's going on. Apparently Mayor Andes is in control of the horsewoman, and
she leans over to Nos and goes, why did he put the... Enelin leans over to Nos and says, why did he put the quotes around it?
Because horsewoman kind of implies that she's like some kind of centaur creature.
Oh shit, I never thought about it, but that's not that's not wrong. Yeah.
anyway, I mean, she did that like right in front of me while I was talking to her. Like
She
just, like,
absolutely
"Hey,
did.
what the hell is he doing?
Anyway.
Anyway, she told us that the horsewoman is under former Mayor Andy's control. I am searching his homestead right now to see if I can find the object that is used to control the beheading person.
Okay. She says she doesn't really know what to make of this. This is definitely not her wheelhouse.
You should get your wife.
Yes, she loves that idea. So she turns around and goes to find Brix. She invites you all back into the parlor where you were earlier, where you had your first conference with Brix. So she goes to find her wife. Meanwhile, your eye has arrived at the house, and the house is completely empty. At least the first floor. When you first come in, it's a good-sized manse. Like, definitely you feel like there should at least be like a servant or someone scurrying about. But maybe it's just that, you know, it's a little bit later on in the day. It's not really that late in the day. There's just nobody about whatsoever. Obviously, you can't hear anything, but you don't see anybody on the first floor. You do see the staircase that Enelin indicated to you that leads up to the second floor. Excuse me. Where Andy's office is. So do you want to go straight up there?
Well, okay, so you said empty. Do you mean that there's just like no people there, or is it not even like furnished or anything?
Yeah, sorry, empty of people.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It just definitely looks like it's the type of place that would have a staff of some sort, and you see nobody on the first floor.
Is there anything interesting in there? Any like cool symbols or things?
Not on the first floor. I mean, most of the first floor that at least that you have passed heading towards the staircase, right? If you want to go look around more, that's fine. But what you've passed so far is mostly just sort of like the entrance foyer. You could see off to one side there was sort of a dining chamber area that was pretty standard. It's well appointed, but I mean, you don't see anything sort of out of the ordinary.
Okay, yeah, I'll head upstairs and then look for.
All right, so you go upstairs, and you all back at Brix's house are still just waiting for Gina to come back, and the eye goes upstairs, and you can pretty quickly find the office, and you know that you found the right place for a couple of reasons. You see in this office, it almost looks like a ballroom that was converted, one end of which was converted. There's a sort of raised dais at one end that was like maybe some sort of like stage or something that now just has a really big wooden desk, and behind it is like a sideboard, countertop area, whatever, that has a bunch of books and tomes on it. There are bookshelves all over the walls of the whole that have been clearly added after the fact, the walls of this ballroom. But you know you're definitely in the right place for several reasons. You see seated behind the desk an older human gentleman. I think he's human. Yes. Oh, no. Half-elf gentleman. Seated behind the desk in robes, working on something, writing something, and standing next to him it can only be the Dullahan. It is a tall, armed and armored woman with no head, but a jack-o'-lantern on her shoulders. In place of the head, and she's just standing next to the desk, one hand sort of across her body, hand resting on a wicked-looking sword that she's got belted to her waist. Behind, on the countertops behind the desk, you see a couple of things. You see a dark metal box that can only be the box that Enelin mentioned that holds the book, but more disturbing than that, you see in a sort of cage, a dark metal cage that looks to be made out of the same metal as that box, and inside the cage is a woman's head. It's quite disturbing, and that is what you see. And at that moment, the rest of you who are sort of waiting, well, I guess you hear as well, Kale, but the rest of you that are sort of hanging out in the parlor at Brix's house, you hear rapid footsteps, and Gina comes running into the parlor, and she looks frantic, and she just says, I don't know where she is. I can't find her anywhere. I told her she can't leave this house until this is dealt with, because they're obviously after her, and I don't know where she's gone.
All right, give me 1 second.
Okay, cool. Hang on.
Just calm down. I'll help. Let me just wrap something up real quick. I'm looking through the eye. Is there any other, like, what are all the entrances to this room? Like, are there any windows, any shit like that? Like,
good question. Let me have a look. So there is the stairs sort of come up in the southwest corner of the room. There's another set of stairs in the northwest corner of the room that lead further up. There's also a couple of doors on the southeastern side of the room that looks like they lead off into other areas. And behind the desk, behind the dais area at the far eastern side of the room, there is a curtain that looks like there might be more to the room behind it.
Okay.
I can show you. Yes, I can.
I should look at Roll20.
It might be helpful.
Nope, still in the cave.
Yep. There you go. Should be.
Change it. Looking at a black screen right now.
Oh, that's good. Give me a second and I will fix that. But in the meantime, I'm fixing that.
I'll let go of the eye if I feel like I got the information I wanted, and okay. I will attempt to cast Sending, I think. Did I prepare that today?
And you see anything now?
Yes.
Great.
And Kale, what did you see with your spell?
I found the box, and Thendalahan. It's got Thendalahan in the box. Pardon me. Excuse me.
Pleasure.
Bless me. All right. Yeah, I see everything now.
Great.
So I see everything.
Yeah.
I found all that. And then I'll try and cast a sending spell. I'll drop concentration on the eye.
Great. Sorry, I'm trying to help out whoever is doing the Roll20 on the channel. It should be
Carl.
up towards the. It's Carl. Great. Sorry, Carl. I forgot that you were going to see the whole dang thing. It should be north of everything that you're looking at right now. It's in like the far upper left corner of the
Got
map. Got it? Yeah, there it is.
You're welcome.
Cool. I will try and send bricks, and I'll say, "This is Kale. Where are you? We're trying to help resolve this situation. Please don't be dead."
And I will Wand of Secrets, I guess, while we're waiting.
Wand of Secrets, what?
I don't know, just the room. See if
Oh,
there's
in the
any-
part where you are now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you were trying to Wand of Secrets the office, and I was like, I don't think that's how that works.
No. Just the house to see if there was like any
Got it.
exit that she was using that may or may not be.
Got it. You do not get a pulse from the wand this time. However, Kale, you do get a response after a moment, and Brix sort of tells you that she's a little off her game, but she basically tells you that she went out to try and speak with Andes. Since if you recall, I think she suspected him when you all spoke with her last, and he has her captive in his house. She has no idea why he's holding her captive. She figured that she was either going to be able to tell him about this, or he would just kill her. This was not really what she expected.
Boy, I'm out of a lot of slots right now for spells.
So are we going in spells ablazing?
All right. First off, let me relay the information to you.
Sure.
Apparently, she went over to confront Andes herself, and he's.
Oh wait,
Is it
hang on. Let's be very clear about this. Is Gina in the room?
I don't know why she wouldn't be. I guess it's kind of up to you, right?
I mean, let me rephrase. She's in the room. Are you saying this in front of her?
Oh yeah, why not?
Okay.
Why shouldn't she know?
Well, sure. She's gonna freak the fuck out, but yes.
Yeah.
And we have Annalyn with us too.
Right.
Which they don't like each other, right?
Oh my god, that's right. You have Annalyn that's with you. Yeah. No, Annalyn doesn't really care one way or the other about Gina. Gina doesn't like Annalyn.
Right.
Yeah, so Gina's currently being held captive by Andes. Unfortunately, I didn't see exactly where in the house. I just saw where the box was. It was upstairs, so I assume that Brix is probably in the basement somewhere. But I don't like to assume things. It's really...
Well,
Alright,
let's break in and then
Well, hold on.
wherever-
Let me find out where she is first. So we can be a little bit
Nos
more
is like,
precise
so
about
we
this.
go in. Hello?
All right.
and we save her.
Are we going in? Are we going in fast, like fireballs blowing up the walls of this manse, or are we going like sneakily?
While
We'll
they
answer that in
debate
a second.
that, I will cast Sending again using a 5th level spell slot because I'm out of 3rd and 4th level slots.
Alrighty.
And I will ask her, where in the house is he keeping you? Please don't have been blindfolded when he brought you down there.
She was in fact blindfolded,
Son of a
but she can tell you she thinks she's on the upper floor somewhere.
Okay.
And let's see if she noticed. Where's my Roll20? Plus, oops.
Probably behind.
No, she did not notice what I... Okay, so she thinks she's on the 2nd floor somewhere.
Okay. Alright.
She knows she went up a set of stairs and not up a second set and definitely not down, so...
Alright, I would ask her more things, but I'm not spending another friggin' slot on that shit. We'll figure it out. Okay. Yep, she's at Andy's house. Let's go. Let's go real quick. Let's go right now.
Kale, before we go, do you
we
want
walk
me?
away, right?
Yes, definitely. While we're walking.
Great.
Do you want me to tell the guards to wait nearby so if we are to rescue her, that she can exit the manse while we confront the Dullahan and Andes?
It might be better if we involve as few people as possible. 1, to not draw anybody's attention, and 2, to not get anybody beheaded who doesn't really need to be. Just in case things go south. But what do the rest of you think?
If he used to be the mayor, there might be some guards who are split loyalties. So maybe, yeah, not chatting with the guards.
We should also get Wampum. I vaguely remember that he was going to the inn. I will run over there.
Okay.
And I will meet you at the house. Just point me in the general direction.
Okay. I mean, we walked to there before, right? Like, we were kind of by it, and then we're back.
You're right.
So.
I forgot. I'll be right back. I'm gonna
Off
roll open the door and be like, "Let's go! Time to get that axe arm going."
Okay.
And I'll
Yes,
wave down
sorry,
the bartender
Wampum.
and say, "I'll take 4 to go."
I mean, he doesn't even question at this point. He's like, yeah, all right.
I'll motion to Wampum to grab 2, and I'll grab 2, and I'll start sipping on them as we go.
What are their to-go cups like?
They are basically the tankards, except on top of them he puts like what does he put on top? He puts I'm trying to think of something kind of goofy. I don't know. He
Straws?
puts like what?
Swirly straws.
That's not exactly what I meant by goofy. But, no, he puts like I'm trying to think of something to like cover it. He puts the top of an ale barrel on top of them to like. That's all he's got. I don't know. Yeah. All right. While these 2 goofers are running back to you all, Annalyn does. She's going with you. She's happy to go with you. Well, happy, but she'll go with you. And she just all she can say is she tells you, obviously this will have to go down the way that it goes down. Please remember that the Dullahan is not in control of her own actions. Also, remember that she has an incredibly powerful enchanted sword that is like to lop off your head if it comes in contact with you too strongly. So do also beware that, because I have no doubt that Anders will command her to defend him, regardless of her own desires. Anders himself is a spellcaster of no small skill, as I learned to my detriment when I went to confront him myself. So beware.
What sort of creature is the Dullahan? Undead, humanoid?
She has some small part of her has a connection to the Fae folk. She is also of the shadows.
All right.
All right. So you all approach the house, Wampum and Taslin with their mugs and keg toppers, and you arrive at the house. The door is unlocked, and as Kale sort of could have already warned you, it's empty.
Right. So the first floor will be empty. When we get to the front, about how far would I think, or would Kale think what's the distance from here to right by the desk?
Are there any windows in his office that Kale could have seen?
Both of those are excellent questions, and both of them have answers that I will give you in a moment.
Okay.
Let's see. I would say that you're...
Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay, I'm just looking. I think you're not more than 100, 150 feet from the desk, from what you can tell.
And what about the... So I saw a curtain, right?
Uh-huh.
If I'm looking at the house from the front, I see where it looks like the curtain, the room where the curtain would have been behind the curtain. You know what I mean? Does it seem like
yes.
there's...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, make me an intelligence investigation check. Meanwhile, Taslin, there are... it looks like there are 2 windows into the office.
So, theoretically, if Taslin wanted to, cast a fireball centered right at that wall, is his desk... I mean, I guess he would clear this with Kale because Kale saw it. Would it, the sphere of influence inside the office.
Gotcha. Let's see what Kale got on his investigation.
I will hold a finger up and say, hold on, I rolled a 21 on my investigation, so let me think for a second.
Okay, great. Okay, so yes, you see the room that would be behind the curtain, or you see like the portion of the architecture of the house where that would be. You're not sure about Taslin's question. That office was pretty big. And the desk is on the far side of the room from the windows, so you're not. I mean, you've seen Taslin cast Fireball before, I have no doubt. So you're not sure that. I mean, maybe, but you're not super confident that it would catch the desk.
All right, let's not do that, Taslin. Can you turn more than one person invisible at a time?
I can if I want to upcast the spell. How many are we looking to cast it on everyone?
No. I was thinking about you and Lefcadio teleporting up exactly a certain amount of feet in the direction that I'm pointing right now.
Okay, and we can carry one person with us if I.
Correct. That's why you and Lefcadio would go.
Okay, as invisible, and the other two.
The other three, me, Nos, and Wampum will go. Will draw their attention to the front. This is where the most heavily armored folks.
Lefcadio, how do you feel about this?
I think we should check with our strategist, Nos. She's usually good on these things.
Indeed, and especially it's going to be unfortunate if they can see invisibility.
Well, I'm fairly certain that they can't, or they may have reacted to my arcane eye.
What you think, Nos?
I think that...
also, sorry, Kale, did you mention the head of the cage situation?
I would say on the way there, I would have said something. Yes.
Okay.
So the box is there, and there's a head in the cage, and I guess I forgot. I wanted to ask Andy's about that on the walk over. Like what, or not Andy's. What's her face?
Annalyn.
Annalyn. What the deal was with the head in the cage?
She looked surprised, so apparently she hadn't seen that the last time she was there, but she says, well, that must be the Dullahan's head. Returning that to her would at least give her a fighting chance to resist the power over her, given the power over her that Andes has because of the book.
Okay, so my plan is just to lay it out real quick before Nos gives it the green, red, or yellow light, whatever that means, is... The two of you will go in the behind, because I know that the room that I'm pointing you guys toward is behind a curtain, which is behind the area where they're keeping the head. The two of you go behind invisibly, and you sneak ahead. As the rest of us go up in front, we draw their attention maybe forward. Well, you get in behind and you get that head free and return it to the Dullahan.
Jazzy, quick question. Because it's cold wrought iron and I'm a Fae, does that mean I would not be able to directly influence the cage or the closed?
It is. Huh? It is. It's sort of like the more Fae you are, the harder it is. And if I'm not mistaken, technically Shatterkai's their creature type is humanoid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it would be uncomfortable, but you're not bound from touching it like the Dullahan is. She is much more of the Feywild and of her Fey ancestry and her Fey blood than you are. So it would be uncomfortable for sure, and probably keep you. I mean, it would be difficult for you to like concentrate on spells, but not impossible, right? But
yep.
But yeah.
Okay. So I will convey that to Lefcadio, who's going to be my partner in crime, and I'll go, Lefcadio, you're most likely going to be the one that's going to have to open the cage. Otherwise, I won't be able to concentrate on our spell, on keeping us invisible. Is that all right with you? I know you are very sneaky. Not in a bad way, in a very good way.
I have no problem with that, but we don't know we're going to do this yet, because we want to check the... Yeah, no, sure.
You're right.
And I won't interrupt this time, I promise.
All right, Nos.
I wait a solid 10 seconds.
Yep.
Can I look around and see whether or not we are being watched currently?
Oh, sure, totally. Give me a wisdom perception check, please.
12.
You don't notice any. I mean, you notice that there is a light coming from the windows that were that Kale indicated as the office windows. So, you notice a light, and you don't notice anyone staring out of those windows. And if what Kale said was true about the rest of the house being empty, you feel fairly confident that nobody's watching.
All right, well, I'm going to flatten my back against the wall of the house so that there's no way that I could be seen from that window.
Totally.
And I'm going to explain, well, first of all, Enelin has told us that Andy's this powerful spellcaster. Kale, you suggested that both of our people who know how to counterspell spells are not with the front party. I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should have at least one person who can counterspell with us. I also think that such a task might be exactly what is called for somebody who may be trying to make up for past mistakes.
Excellent point.
Looking at Enelin.
Oh yeah, she's looking back and just.
And then third, I really like Brix. I don't want them to have to use her as a hostage, say, if I don't go input this arcane symbol on the cage, then it will self-destruct with her inside of it.
Good point.
If I don't, yeah.
So the room that I am planning to send you guys to, I'm pretty sure, I have a hunch that may be the room that Brix is being kept in. So,
if there's a way for us to save her first, that is my preference.
Okay.
All right, with that in mind, I just want to get a little bit more information from Teslin. Teslin,
Yeah?
what spell were you thinking of casting on us?
I could cast a greater invisibility on us, or I could cast it. I could upcast it to get both of us, or I could simply cast it on you, not wasting a better spell that I may have prepared, and then use my ring, which would deactivate once I teleported. So I suppose that's a poor choice. But if you have that spell prepared, can you use the dimension door?
Well, yeah, I don't. From what I know, I don't think you can cast that other one on multiple people. But yeah, if you want to give it to me.
Correct. I could cast it on you and then use my ring to be invisible. And then if you are casting the dimension door, I would still be invisible from the ring.
The idea of the change in the plan, from what I presented, was that Enelin and one person would go up there, and then. So I'm guessing that you make Lafcadio invisible, and then you and Lafcadio, you and Enelin will go up together.
That sounds like a plan.
Right.
And all right, so best case scenario, we find Maya Brix in that room, and we try to free her. Is that right?
I believe.
I would say just make sure that if you don't free her right away, that she's not going to get harmed in any way. And if so, then obviously deal with that first. But if not, then I would say the first priority, and Nas, correct me if you think I'm wrong about this, would be getting control of the Dallahan back to herself.
And you'll only have 1 minute of invisibility. So this will have to happen very quickly. If I'm going with the rest of you, where the Dullahan is no doubt going to be sent along with Andy's, I will focus on canceling out any spells he has. Wampum, if you see him starting to get bloodied, let me know, and I will unleash my most powerful spell I have prepared on him.
I have a great idea, and I'm going to begin to take off my cape, the mountebank. And I'm going to hand it to, I think Lafcadio's the one that's gonna be going on it on his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Enelin?
Yeah. I'm gonna hand it to you, and I'm gonna say, if you can get this to Brix, then she'll be fine.
So I look at the cloak, like, any special instructions?
Think real hard about being somewhere else, and pray to the gods you don't teleport into something.
All right, so she just has to put it on, think, and she'll boo.
I believe so.
You've casted the Dimension Store spell before, right? Dimension Store.
The what now?
Dimension Store dealt.
Yeah, I think Lefkadio has. He casted it in the episode where Allie was kidnapped.
Okay, it's just that. So whatever it feels like for you when you do it, just describe it to her that way. And it should work out.
Then you can just bounce out, come meet back up with us.
There'll be no attunement thing on that cloak there.
I just checked that myself. There isn't.
I bought it specifically because of that.
Nice.
All right. Okay. So best case scenario, she's in that room. I hand her the cloak. I tell her to get the heck out of here. And then what?
You run. There will be a curtain. Run through the curtain. Hopefully still invisibly. And to your right, there will be a dark box and a dark cage, and you'll see a head in the cage. Either get a hold of the box, or more preferably get a hold of the head in the cage and get it out. And I guess, Adeline, correct me if I'm wrong about this, but just shove that head right onto the headless body.
She's like, an indelicate way to put it, but yes, absolutely. Just get it to her.
All right. Kale, mate, do you mind holding on to this book? I think I'm going to be juggling a couple things here.
Right.
I can hold
sure.
it if you'd like.
I'll hold on to the book. That's fine. Thank you.
Just ignore Taslim. No.
Doesn't
All
have
right.
to try.
So I'll turn over to Enelin.
Uh-huh.
Enelin, I'm gonna give you this cloak here.
All right.
I'm gonna be invisible,
All right.
so Brix isn't gonna see me.
All right.
So you if she's in that room,
Yeah.
you give her the cloak.
All right.
If she's not in the room,
All
then
right.
I'm gonna try to sneak past those fellas and grab whatever I can grab to make this situation resolve itself as quickly as possible.
If you run off with that cloak, I will hunt you down.
Actually, that's a good point. Adeline, I'll pull out just a small knife, and I'll say, would you mind terribly just cutting off just a small lock of hair for me?
Yes, in fact, I would. I can certainly give you my word that I have no intention of running off with your friend's cape.
Let me rephrase it then. Cut off a lock of hair for me.
Go ahead and roll me. Well, I'll take either charisma, intimidation, or persuasion, whichever you feel that you are doing more of.
I feel like I rolled a 1 either way. So.
She says, I understand your concern, but you must understand that as someone who has some knowledge of the arcane arts, there is no chance that I would give you the power over me that would represent.
All right, let me rephrase it one more time. Just a little bit differently. I suggest
words
that you
last time.
give me a lock of your hair. Yeah, and out of character, I'm casting a suggestion spell.
Aha! I got it. Okay.
It's a DC 18 wisdom save.
Save. Where is my save? Hang on a second. Wait. 20. She doesn't know why she didn't think that was a good idea sooner. As she rolls a 3, and so she does it, and then as soon as she's done doing it, when the spell wears off, she's very angry about it.
But by then we'll be long gone.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your compliance. All right, is everybody ready? We know the plan. Everybody knows the plan.
All right. So you guys start running in through the bottom. I'll take out the rear since Lefkadio will only have a minute to do this. I will cast it on him about 30 seconds after you've entered. So that gives time for the Dullahan to start coming down to you.
That might be a little bit long. We're going to run up to him. I don't think it'll take more than 15 seconds.
15 seconds? That
some
sounds
steps.
perfect.
12.
Let's say 12. Yes, because that neatly divides by 6. Yeah,
That works perfectly. All right. So I'll wait 15 seconds after they go in.
All right. 12. All right. So, first thing, That was a question. It sounded like a statement. Are we ready to enact the steps of the plan at this point?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
I am.
Great. Yes. All yeses. Great. Step 1 is
the team that's going up in front just busts down the door and starts running up the stairs immediately because I know exactly where to go.
All right, old man. You ready?
Let's go.
Choo-choo!
And that is busting
What is that
in.
noise?
No pretensions of stealth or anything like that, right? Great. All right.
Nope.
Fantastic. In y'all go. Step 2.
Greater invisibility on Lefkadio.
Got it. Lefkadio
And-
is invisible. Very, very invisible.
And I'll immediately use my ring to go invisible and follow in the house.
All right. So Tazlin's going in the house. Lefkadio, you are invisible. Step 3.
I will put my invisible hand on Inalin and cast Dimension Door, putting us in the room Kale has indicated.
All right.
Should I have also done that on Annalyn as well?
done what?
Cast greater invisibility. I didn't know if that was part of
I
Kale's
don't think
plan.
that was the plan. I think
Okay.
she was to be visible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
can't
just-
upcast it to more people.
Right.
Also,
But I could have cast it. No, because that's concentration. Never
concentration.
mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So Lefkadio, you and Enelin, who I don't have a token for, appear in this room where Kale indicated, and tied up in the corner is the prone halfling form of Mayor Brix. Okay. Now, for reasons, I need everybody to roll initiative.
Is my token here?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, right. Let me pull up. I do have them all. They're just all only visible to me. Okay, so they're just north of the house at the moment. I'll put them in places later, but grab them so that you can put some initiatives down. Let me do... where are the... I promise I'll get better at Roll20.
You're doing great.
Thanks. I just don't always remember where I put certain windows. I'm sorry, does that say 27.14?
Yeah, well, I actually rolled it with a real die, and it wasn't that much, so I just very quickly.
So, very confused but amused. I love it. Okay, where's Andy's? Okay, that was shitty. It's fine. Okay. Oh, and I guess I'll do a flat roll for Annalyn. All right, so we'll put her in there. At 5. Okay, so those of you who are in the house and running upstairs, it's going to take you 2 rounds, I think, by this point, running full tilt to get up to this office on the 2nd floor. All right. So Tazlin, you are running, yes?
And I'm also 15 seconds behind, so that would probably be an extra round.
Okay, good.
Or
So extra 2 rounds. Yeah. Okay, great. Kale, you are running, yes?
Yep.
Would
Yes.
it probably be like 1 round because I can cast spells from like 120 feet? So would I?
Oh,
be, like,
sure.
up the stairs
Sure,
at
I buy
point?
that. Sure. Lefkadio, you are up. You see Brix there. Annalyn is with you. What are you doing?
So, do I have any doubts that Brix would be able to use the cloak in her current state?
No, she doesn't look... I mean, she looks a little, like, beaten on just to, like, get her into submission, but she doesn't look super hurt, to be honest. Which is maybe a little weird, but anyway.
Right. Okay. Well, then everything's going according to plan. Nothing will fail. All right. I am going to try to be sneaky, and Kale told me about some curtains.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look for some
You
curtains.
see you can see just up this little set of stairs, there's some curtains right there. There's also another set of... Well, I don't know if you can really see that. So, yes, right here.
Right. And did Kale indicate on like which side of the desk would be the?
I don't know that he did. I mean, he said the curtains were behind the desk, and that the head and the box were on that like sideboard or whatever, credenza, that were behind the desk in front of the curtain, but I don't think you mentioned which side things were on unless you want to tell me otherwise.
No, you just said the box was on the counter and then the head was in a cage.
Yep.
All right. Well, then I will super sneakily
All right.
try to poke my head through the curtains and
Okay.
see if I can find any of the things that I'm supposed to find.
Great. Give me a dexterity stealth check with advantage.
That's 20.
Very nice. All right. So you poke through, and you see immediately. You can see quite obviously both of the things that you're looking for. They're both sort of towards the center of it. The book box is slightly closer to you than the head cage. Those are two weird things to say, but they're both pretty close to the center of the credenza of the sideboard back there.
All right. Well, then I'm going to continue to be very sneaky
All right.
and step out there.
Okay. All right.
Am I close enough to grab anything yet?
Maybe another 5 feet to the south, and you will be.
All right.
Yeah.
So what can I grab from this location?
Either one from that location.
Perhaps both.
Perhaps both. They look heavy, but you're not a lightweight in terms of strength. You're not super strong, but you might be able to carry them both. I will say, remember that unless you want to take disadvantage to cancel that advantage, you're going to want to be moving at half speed here. So,
I will move at half speed because I don't want to.
yeah.
I'm very careful. Like a
I know it's
cat.
only a couple of points difference, but it's probably worth it.
All right. Well then, if it looks like I can grab both of them,
Yeah, I think so.
I grab both of them.
All right.
Well, before I actually move anything,
Okay.
I look to see where the nearest staircase is.
Yeah, so you see on the far side of the room in the corners, there are a couple of staircases. It looks like there's a closer one about midway through the room on the south, although you can tell that in terms of leaving the house, the ones on the far side of the room are probably the closer ones, because you can see that there's where the windows are, the side of the house that you all were standing on, blah, blah, blah. But those are your options for staircases.
All right. So I think I know where my party... Well, I don't. I really have no idea where my party is going to come from. I'm going to pick the staircase on the northwest corner.
Okay, make me a wisdom perception check, because they're not being quiet about their approach.
It's fair. Perception. That is 23.
Yeah, so definitely coming from the far side of the room, and what I didn't say but should have is that the northwestern staircase looks like it's going up, and the southwestern one looks like it's going down, so...
Oh, all right. Well, then, I will, with my hands on the items of interest,
Yes.
I will call out with the verbal component of Dimension Door
Oh boy, okay.
and bamf to that staircase.
Okay, just to the staircase.
Yep. Not
All right.
out, just to the staircase.
Absolutely, you can do that with no problem. Of course, you do not become visible, because that's not how greater invisibility works. So, you make a bit of noise calling the verbal component, but otherwise, there you are. Fantastic. All right. Anything else, Lefcadio?
With the rest of my movement, I'll just walk a little bit further down the stairs so I'm not directly in any line of sight of anything.
Sure.
Should anyone be able to see invisible things.
Sure, why not? All right, so it is the Dullahan's turn. She is going to, first off, where is she? We're going to make one of these. Okay. So, she does hear something, and then, of course, you call out, so she has a general idea of what may be happening and has been given her orders. So, what am I doing? I'm going to do a quick little measure. See, okay. So she's going to start running towards you. I suppose I don't know if you're peeking back to see what's happening, but if you do, you see that the Dullahan begins to run towards you, and as she gets to about a third of the way through the office space, there is a flash of dark. It's a weird thing to say, but like the best way to describe it is a flash of dark light and a smell of brimstone, and standing where the Dullahan once was is I gotta turn this, is instead a great big angry looking horse upon which the Dullahan sits. And I need to get rid of her so we can get rid of her. There we go. Yes, upon which the Dullahan sits, and the horse just looks real scary. I don't know what else to say about it. And it gets its own initiative, so let's do that. All right. Fortunately, we're already past its turn, so you don't have to worry too much about it. I need you to... Okay, great. Wampum, you are up next, and you are running, I believe. Yes?
Yep. Where do I be?
Where do you be? Oh, I do need to put the 3 of you down here. The 4 of you down here. You all are sort of generally down... Oh, I don't know. This is not an exact map of the actual grounds. So at the moment, you're downstairs, sort of just bursted into the entrance foyer of the manse and running towards the stairs that Kale indicated for you guys.
Okay. So I will go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10. I'll put down my shoulder and I'll keep on going. That's a door right there, I take it?
Oh, yeah. You guys will get up to the office in about 2 turns of just running full tilt. So unless you want to do something else, I'm not going to worry too much about your position on the map until we get you upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm running full out.
Fantastic. All right. So running. Nos running.
Running, yes, but next round I will be doing something.
Okay, great. I will remember that for next round. It is Andy's turn, and he needs to also make a perception check, although kind of doesn't matter, but anyway. So we're just doing a wisdom check because he doesn't have that. All right, 13. So he actually doesn't probably hear what Lefkadio was doing, but the Dullahan did. However, he has other ways to know that something is going on back here. So he's going to move his way back here. And Enelin is not invisible, right?
She's not.
Okay, so he sees her standing there, and this is out of view of all of you, so stuff happens that none of you know about.
She redeems herself. Brix is saved.
Yeah, stuff happens. Next up is Enelin. More stuff happens. Tazlin. Running?
Probably. He's super invisible.
He's super invisible. All right, running. Kale, running?
Yep.
Okay, this will... so at the end, if you use your dash action, you will get to essentially where invisible Kale is on the stairs. Where are you? Here you go.
You mean Lefkadio?
I'm sorry, where Lefkadio is on the stairs, sorry.
Okay.
All right.
And that was Tazlin's token you grabbed, so...
Yeah, it sure was.
We're both...
I'm doing real well.
So.
All right, Lefkadio, you're up.
All right, so I wasn't peeking, but I presume I'm aware that some hellish beast is clippity-clopping around a bit
You
now?
definitely smelled the brimstone, if nothing else.
All right. I've got 40 feet of movement.
All right.
And I'll use my feline agility to double that. So I have a total of 80 feet.
All right.
So I'm going to run 45 feet. I'm going to toss the head in the cage at the horse rider. and I'll say, catch!
I think she is going to instinctively reach up to catch it. Let's see if she does. It's not going to go super well for her whether she does or doesn't, if I'm honest. This one. Why don't you make me a dexterity check as well, Lefcadio?
Just Dex?
Yeah, just Dex.
22.
Call it. Okay, so yours was quite good and hers was not awful. So we'll say that she catches it and, of course, grabs onto it and immediately lets out. It's very strange because she doesn't really have a mouth, a pumpkin, blah, blah, blah. But she screams and drops the cage because it's also made of cold iron, which she can't touch. So she's going to take a fair bit of damage. Alrighty. So that hurt.
Just as I planned.
I love it.
In retrospect, was there any way for me to have opened that cage just so I can beat myself up about it later?
It had a little padlock on it, so you might have been able to like break it open, but it wasn't going to be easy. Like you couldn't just open the door.
All right. So with the rest of my movement, I'll continue going forward. I'm invisible, so I feel unless they can see invisible things, I'm not going to provoke anyone doing anything.
Sure.
All right. Can I see the Andy's guy?
No. Andy's has passed through the curtain at this point.
All right. Then I will dash so I get double what I have. And I will get into the room so I can get,
So you
I'll
go
bump
sort
into
of.
him.
Yeah, I was gonna say you bump into him basically. Like you move the curtain aside. Well, you don't have to bump into him, but you move the curtain aside and you see that he's standing there.
All right, and I can't see anything behind, but
Right.
so that's
right.
my
Yes,
action.
he does look like he's poised to do some spellcasting or just completed it, but you can't really see past him to see what's going on in the room.
All right, can
I like
can
your
I move,
somatic components.
can I move through his space?
I don't think that you can. No, you're both medium, and it's not a very wide doorway. I mean, you could try and shove him out of the way, but I think that would take an action. So,
Or would it be a strength check to see if he can continue to move?
If you hadn't used your action already to get this far, I would say yes, but I think probably not for the moment.
All right, well then I'll end my turn there.
All right. Lex. This poor Dullahan is like, people are running and back and forth. I don't know what's happening. She needs to make another perception check to see if she heard Kale coming up the stairs, I guess. There we go. Oh, yeah, she did. All right, so the horse is going to come over here. It's going to sort of fly a little bit, and she is, we'll see what she is. Wampum, you also make it up to the top of these stairs if you want to dash on this round. A little bit behind Kale since you are a little slower, but...
All right, my normal movement would put me in visual of her, or do I have to use my dash to...
You'll have to dash to get within line of sight of her, yeah.
All right, I am going to dash and put myself right in front.
I'll take it. In that case, she held her action and she is going to draw her sword and attack. So the first one is a 22 to hit, which I don't think hits you, right?
Nope, that
I
misses.
didn't think so. All right. She does have a second attack with her multi-attack, though, so she's going to swing again with a 27 to hit.
That does hit.
Alrighty. And that is going to do 14 slashing damage to you.
Gotcha.
It's not pleasant. And this is a very sharp blade. It's just very sharp. Excellent. All right, Nos, you too can make it up to the top of these stairs if you decide to dash, but you said you wanted to do something else.
Yes.
So you tell me.
So I'll get right there. I think that's
Perfect.
about... Yeah. And as the rest of them are going and I'm kind of falling behind in the darkness, I take a moment. I close my eyes, and I think of my golden goddess and the warmth that I remember via her presence that I still don't quite remember.
Sure.
And a bright light bursts from my back, and I get backlit for a sec as these great big golden eagle wings spread out from behind me.
I love it.
There's this radiance that comes from down the stairwell, like...
I love it. I love Asmars. All right. Fantastic. So, Nos has brought forth her radiant powers. It is Andy's turn. Lefkadio, you weren't being particularly quiet, but you are invisible, yes?
That's correct.
All right. Let's start here and do this. All right. So, He's busy. He's not really sure what's going to do. So actually, he's going to turn around and not really see you, right? So he's going to continue on into the room where, and so as soon as he moves, you can see, excuse me, you can see that that Annalyn is on the ground and does not look the greatest. She is sort of holding her the center of her gut again. She's alive, but she doesn't look great. And Andes walks over to Brix and sort of kicks Annalyn and grabs. Hang on, I just realized something. What was the plan with the cape here? I don't want to cheat you guys out of a plan. But I think I missed a step in here somewhere.
Annalyn was supposed to give Brix the cape as soon as possible and tell her to teleport away.
Oh, right. And not go with her.
It's up to her. Like, that's as much as we said. We're concerned about Brix.
Okay, so I forgot about that. I take all of it back. I mean, Annalyn is definitely hurt. But you don't know that because they're both gone from the room at the moment. So... Andes is pissed. Andes is going to try and walk out of the curtain and run into you, Lefkadio, because, well, you're there. He's going to be somewhat startled, and in his startlement, he is going to... I need to make sure this is to the public. Yes, he's going to cast a very chilly...
I'm going to counterspell it.
Okay, great. So I'm going to need you to make an ability, a spell casting ability check, because he's casting a higher than 3rd level spell.
So, as a warlock, all my spells are at 5th level.
Fifth level, which means, that's right, which means this is counterspelled. All right, so he starts to to do something, and his magic fizzles, and he looks quite frightened at this point. Yeah, it's not cute. But that is his action, so he's just going to sort of take stumble a step back into the room. So I guess if you want to take an attack of opportunity, you can.
I just used my reaction, so...
Oh, yes, of course you did, to counterspell. Very good. All right, that was Andy's. Annalyn is elsewhere. We're not going to worry about her for right now. We are at time, and this is such a tense moment, and a part of me wants to keep going, and a part of me loves a good cliffhanger. So... this was fantastic. We are going to stop there for tonight. They have enacted their plan. It's going surprisingly, actually, fairly well to this point for the most part.
Surprising.
I should mean, just, adventures in their plan.
You see Judy in chat, she's like, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It's going to be fine. You're doing great. I thought we were going to finish this tonight, but I'm thrilled that we didn't actually, because I've loved everything that's happened tonight. The roleplay, the combat, this is all fantastic. I love it. We will be back next week to finish out the last little bit, one way or another, of Ghastly Grins, Judy's fantastic adventure from the Uncaged Anthology. We're going to go around, introduce ourselves one more time, let you know where you can find us on social media if that is a thing that we do. While we do that, don't forget, we're going to do this drawing as soon as we're done with all of this, so if you have not entered yet, hit ! Ticket to be entered for one free ticket into the drawing. If you would like to purchase more with your dragons, you can do so as well. Enter, and we will be giving it away soon. But in the meantime, let's go around and let everybody know who we are, who we played, and where you can find us, what else you've got going on, all that good stuff. Let's start with Carl.
Hi, I'm Carl. I play Lefkadio Whitehorn. I also play Pelea de Winterra on Tuesdays on this channel. at what time? 9 o'clock Eastern in our World of Porn game. That's me. I'm
Good. Fantastic. This is great. Vinny.
I'm Benny. I play Kale Irvine. My name on Twitter is Indolent Scuzz, but I only like retweet and like things. I don't come up with a lot of original ideas, just a general. So that's it. I'm done.
Oh, that was fantastic. I loved that sort of monotone too. It just really thrilled me. All right, Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham. I play Taslin, and you can find me on Twitch TV at Graham Crackers with a Z. I stream and DM a game for 7 or 8 players every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You can tune in there, and you can see lovely guest stars like Casey.
Fantastic. I love that. Why don't we hop to... Well, let's hop to Casey. Why not?
Hi, I'm Casey. I'm known on social media as Casey H, and you can follow me there to see where I am and when I'll be there. Tuesdays, I'm with Carl here on this channel, same time. And then on soon-to-be Tuesday mornings over on the Greyhawk channel, starting at 10 a.m., we're going to be doing a campaign in the Blackmoor setting of the Greyhawk universe, and we're going to be doing it with the Open Legends system. So that'll be very neat.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I'm super excited about that.
Nice, cool. And then Fridays, also on the Greyhawk channel, starting at 5 p.m. EST, yes, is the Old Faith. And I am a halfling barbarian there. And that's it, that's me.
I love it. John.
Hey guys, I'm John. I'm playing Wampum Thunderbelly, your wonderful dwarven battle master. This is the only channel that I'm on, but during the week I also DM and play some other tabletop games at some local venues.
I love that. I love that. And once again, I'm Eugenio, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands. You can find me on Twitter at DM Jazzy Hands. I am the dungeon master for the actual play podcast, The Last Refuge. You can find us at DND Last Refuge. We are coming up on our 2-year anniversary in July, so we're ramping up for some events and some super cool stuff. Keep an eye on our Twitter. You can also go to our website, dndlastrefuge.com, where we'll be putting up some announcements, but we're going to be doing some special offers on our Patreon and having another giveaway competition like we did last year, and we haven't announced what the prizes are yet, but I will say that last year we gave away a super cool Last Refuge t-shirt, which was awesome. This year we will also be giving away Last Refuge merch, but we also have a really, really awesome vendor of some awesome tabletop swag that is being so generous as to donate some things for our giveaway. So yeah, keep an eye on our stuff so that you can come join in the fun and enter that giveaway. You can also find me on Fridays from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern as a player on Encounter Roleplay on the show Basilica of Cudgel, which is set in the Greyhawk universe. I play Kaladin, a human cleric of Rao, the god of peace and forbearance. So that's weird and fun. Also, starting not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, I will also be over on the Greyhawk channel. I will be DMing a show called The Brenton Files, Monsters and Myths, which is also going to be set in Greyhawk using the 5e system and is going to be about a sort of misfit team of monster hunters who get sent out to sort of demoted and get stationed in a shitty place where nothing ever happens, except that it does. And I'm also going to be playing in a show on variant roles, but that doesn't start for a few weeks, so we can talk about that later. So yeah, you can find me all over the place. Best place to keep an eye on my schedule is at my Twitter, DM Jazzy Hands. Also, I think we've linked this in chat a couple of times, but go over to the DMs Guild, check out the Uncaged Anthology Volume 1. We're going to do this giveaway here in just a minute, but if you don't win, you should absolutely go toss some bucks over to that crew and get a copy of it, because it's good stuff. It's great inspiration. There's a ton of material in there, like I said, for all tiers of play, all levels. All of that good stuff. Also, of course, Judy Black Cloud is here in the chat with us. She wrote Ghastly Grins, the adventure that we've been playing for the last couple of weeks. So thank you, Judy, for your awesome work. I have been thrilled to take your stuff and put it into life for our game, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. All right, and it looks like it looks like our winner is our very own John, which is fantastic. Also, it looks like he had 100% chance to win, which makes me laugh. Fantastic. All right, so for the rest of you, go check out that stuff. There's all kinds of cool stuff. I've got some stuff on the DM's Guild too, but the important stuff right now is Judy's and Ashley's and everybody else's really awesome Uncaged anthology. Go check it out. Go buy it. It is good stuff. Anything else that we need to talk about before we let these fine folks go?
I don't think so.
I think that's everything. Thanks so much for watching. We will be back next week. I shouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon, so we'll be back next week. Same time, same place. We will see you then. Have a good night, everybody. Happy gaming, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.